What's up, guys? It looks like we're live.
Introducing Dragon's Crossing, an addictive.
You are watching Hype TV, the Metaverse Access channel.
Let me bring you up to speed.
I'm Doug Hype. I'm Aaron Rodgers' guru.
No way.
No, Dougie, you rock.
Some of the top games into space.
The game is like, it seems to only have positives. Everybody seems to really like it.
I never played Dungeons and Dragons.
There's evil here.
But hey, I'm addicted. I've got 15 heroes now.
Amazing.
He's got something up his sleeve.
I learned that I'm kind of an esports geek now. Classy Games, you did fucking phenomenal.
You don't get these opportunities often to be able to just have some of the best players in a game.
Like, that's just how you do it.
This is Web3 right here, baby. Let's go.
Don't forget to watch out for chunkers. Let's go.
Baby, I'm pumped for Dragon's Crossing.
All right. We're here. We got Bob up in the house. What's up, Bob? How are you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, Douglas?
So we are live. We're going to do a tier list of skills for Dragon's Crossing. And we did a tier list a week ago or so for season 1. And now all the skills are different for season 2. And some of the skills might still be like really attractive to you or think that they're really cool or whatever it is. But like the season just started and we got to like wrap our head around all the stuff happening with the skills, because one of the big things that's happened is the skills now like scale according to your attributes, so different attributes and stuff. So now there's like math involved and stuff. Bob's like, we were hanging out before the show. He's like, dude, I'll do the math. We'll figure out the math and stuff, right? So that's really cool. If you want to nerd out and do math and stuff on that, it's super cool. For me, the real goal of this stream, Bob, is to have us kind of understand really like, what the skills kind of do and where they might be helpful. And then like the ones that we kind of like the best ourselves. And we had a discussion earlier today about like not revealing like too much alpha. People want to like keep the alpha for themselves so they can win the season. And the thing is, right now, nobody really has any alpha like that can actually we beat the final boss for sure or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you might have like a hint of it. So what we want to do is just go in a good direction and have a good concept of what is going to happen going forward. And we can always adjust from there, and we'll make a new tier list later and it'll be cool. Like I thought the Warriors were the best in the game. I went and snatched up a bunch more Warriors. And next thing you know, yesterday I was so exhausted while I was playing after all the partying and all the July 4th party and stuff. I saved my Warrior for last, being like, I'm so excited. And next thing you know, I literally start playing with my Warrior. And then I wake up with my head on my desk. I wake up, I had blacked out like on my desk. I don't even remember playing with my Warrior and I died. Like, so literally I somehow died in real life at the same time. And then I was like brought back to life somehow. And I just saw the screen saying like, you've been destroyed, defeated. And I'm just like, Bob, like, do you think that I actually physically died at the same time that I died in the game?
Yeah, it sounds like most of us, you might have got poisoned by some good old American USA beer.
Yeah.
I know I did. I was feeling a little rough this morning.
The thing is I drank just like a beer or two yesterday. I was eating hot dogs on the stream. I had like my big old America cup over there. I got America behind me, right? All this stuff. That's me, by the way, with white hair, apparently. So it's a lot of fun. I had so much fun yesterday, and I spent all day preparing for the stream, doing the stuff, doing things. And of course, I've got like my warm coat on. Everyone's always like, aren't you hot in that? And usually I'm not. But for some reason yesterday, it got kind of warm. And then all of a sudden, I just passed out like straight up on my desk. And I'm just like, where am I? What's happening? And I look up and I'm like, it says defeated, you're dead. And I'm just like, dude, my whole thing this year was going to be I wasn't going to die because everyone's dying. You're dying, Bob, right? Did you
Wait,
die
that's your only death?
Yeah, just one. And I wouldn't even have died if I didn't pass out. And just like, I would literally was like playing and not even, I was just like, I couldn't. Well, this is the thing. Like I have issues with like migraines and stuff where sometimes I like just some completely in a different universe. I don't even know where I am. You know what I mean? Like it's just very weird. It's hard to describe. You feel like a different person, things smell differently. Your brain just is not functioning correctly. It's like your brain's out of control and all the neurons are firing and you can't like control it. And like sometimes you get so exhausted because you can't even rest. You can't even sleep because your brain's just firing. And so when you go to the hospital, what they do is they give you narcotics like crazy. They just drug you the hell up. I mean, they practically just like try to knock you out with narcotics. And that doesn't even really work. Like They give me the hardest narcotics you can give somebody in the hospital, and then I'm just sitting there being like, nothing's happening, like nothing.
Okay, you've convinced me that death didn't count.
So no,
it can be one with a star, one with an asterisk.
The thing is, it does count. It's just one of those things where it's like really hilarious because I like literally died. I was like, I'm dead. And so isn't that funny? Like how in like the Matrix, if you die in the Matrix, your like body dies, right? So hot dogs are taking a toll on the digestive system. I only had like 4. I'm not like Joey Chestnut over here, Bob. Like if you saw me in the hot dog eating contest on TV wearing this coat, do you think I would have a shot versus Joey Chestnut? Just like the special powers of the fur coat and me and my sunglasses, like I could probably eat at least 20 hot dogs, I think.
I mean, no, but I would never think Joey Chestnut could eat a bunch of hot dogs.
64, yeah.
Either. So,
and remember, who was it? Kobayashi, or the Japanese guy?
Yeah,
used
same
to win?
guy. Or same thing.
That Kobayashi, was that the guy's name? Kobayashi,
Kobayashi, yeah. They did this horrible Netflix documentary. I could barely watch it.
I wouldn't want to watch that. He used to be the big champion, and now it's Joey Chestnut. It's good times. Yeah. So, did you have a good 4th of July? Did you like hang out with the fam? Like, what do you do?
I did. Yeah, the dog was freaking out for fireworks, but other than that, we did good. I was actually at my mother's house for an extended weekend, helping her out with some stuff. So I came back.
You're doing some nice things. You're helping.
Yeah, I was being a good son this weekend because I'm having a little bit of a plumbing issue here. So I'm working on that. I've been dealing with the plumber all day. So it's not been the best week, honestly, but we'll persevere. DCX is awesome. What you said before about the skills being changed is not at all hyperbole. I thought it was when JB was saying that, but he literally changed every single one.
Okay, before we get into that though, I need you to give me advice and feedback. Do you think this should be like my new Twitter banner? I mean, it is right now, but do you think this branding is like really like spot on with my brand? And also in the comments, please tell me, catch up ×2, let's go. You don't really have to listen to the beginning. The beginning is us just joshing around because, Bob, this is the thing. We talked about this in the big mega stream the other day, like yesterday. Relationship building is more important than anything. And we want to have fun at this game. And it's kind of part of the fun of this game, right? As we all get to know each other and become friends as we all die together, right? As we try to rally ourselves and defeat these monsters, right?
Yeah, I mean, and I've been watching your streams as much as I could. I caught most of the yesterday's.
Very cool.
I like to catch them. Glad to be on it for the first time.
This is the first time I thought you'd been on before, but anyways,
we've been on Grady's stream together. I've been on
that's what it was.
ADFK. I'm a DFK guy, so
yeah.
I've been around.
Let's get back to the important thing. Is like my sweet dope hairstyle, and
is that an AIU?
This is AI, but I spent like 10 hours straight trying to make this stuff. But like, it's not just AI. I added elements in it myself too. So technically, it's like a combo, like co thing. What I don't know what you call it. And so some of the elements I did myself. So, but it's probably mostly AI. But dude, like, there's so many funny things that the AI did, like that I just. You're like, here,
it looks kind of like a Tekken character. I agree. It's kind of like a cyberpunk with the white hair. So
he does kind of look like a Tekken. That's actually true. I did really like Tekken. I was a big Tekken fan. Here's another fun one I'm going to share real quick that it made. In fact, this was one of the first ones it made. And it shows you that, like, as soon as my prompts were like, exciting rock and roll, shouting in victory, champion, world champion, and stuff like that, right? And then I would write like a few other like descriptive things, and it came up with this one as one of the first.
I like that one. That one looks like you.
So thank you. Well, that's things I did the face swap you can do in Midjourney, so I put my face on it, and it's sometimes the face swap doesn't do well if it's not close up. Like if the picture is further away, it doesn't do so great. But like as soon as I told him to give me a rabbit fur coat, it put me in Antarctica with like these boots and these gloves.
Yeah, I don't think playing guitar with gloves is a thing.
That's kind of makes it funny, right? Like you're like, I'm playing guitar with these big ass gloves on that you'd wear in the Arctic or something. But those gloves look like they're like not even the right like material you'd wear in the Arctic. These look like they'd absorb water. But
yeah,
like,
you need to cut out the fingers if you're going to play
so
the
it kind of
guitar
looks
and
like a
gloves.
1980s version of like what it would be, right? You know what I'm saying? Plus, the guitar is supposed to be a Gibson, but it's not really some weird thing. But because I have a Les Paul like type, not a real Les Paul. It's like actually a Japanese Les Paul, but whatever. That's not the point. But I love the whole furriness, right? It's really hilarious. It gave me a wispy hair. See that wispy hair it gave me for some reason? I don't know why it gave me wispy hair.
It looks pretty accurate.
It's pretty funny, right?
I mean,
anyways, so it's good times, and it's a lot of fun to do that stuff because I'm trying to work on my branding and all this stuff for the show, and like I want to hire people to help me with it, but the problem is that I want everything to be like how I want it to be, so I end up doing it all myself usually, and anyways, it's a lot of fun, and I like the one behind me now. I did that for 4th of July, and now let's go. Okay, so let's continue talking about the actual thing, looking like American Jipachi Mishima from Tekken. Was he like the main character? Which one was he in Tekken?
I don't remember.
Let me look up right now. I gotta find Mishima. I think I know who you're talking about. Oh, Mishima. So which one is it? Jinpachi. I used to love Tekken. Here we go. Jinpachi Machina. Oh, that is not at all what I look like. I don't look like Jinpachi Machina, this dude with the big old weird beard and stuff. There is a dude in Tekken I do look like, though, that I know has like white hair and stuff. Anyways, so it's good times. Thanks for the comment. Green face smiling. Or yeah, because we were sick and I fell over. I just met you and this is crazy, but here's my hero. I blame you, JB. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Right. All right, so let's do this. I've got a tier list, guys. I got a tier list that I made. And shout out to Katrino, who makes the Medium articles. And I'm gonna actually, you know what? I'm gonna share this tweet, the tweet for this show that I made. And at one of the comments of this tweet, is in the comment, it has a link to his Medium article. So you can go check out the straight up meeting. It's also in the Discord, and the link to the Discord's there too. You can go to the Discord, go to official links, go to the meme articles, and you'll find all of Gatrino's like really cool stuff. So there it is. And there's a tweet. You can please retweet and do the tweet. If we get enough people in this show, I'll give away some USDC that you can use to buy a skill book. Okay, I'll give away $10 in USDC if we get. Let's see how much engagement does this tweet have? Tier list skill rank. It's got 15 retweets and how many comments? I need to get at least 10, 15 comments on here. Right now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 comments. All right. If we get 12 comments on that tweet, I'll give out $10 in USDC, please. So comment with what is your favorite skill and why? And also Sirius says pocket sand is his favorite skill. Do you know why? And he put up the meme. In fact, maybe I should actually, you know what? I should shut up and just share it. Hold on. Let me share. I'll show you what people are actually.
And if anybody knows what these last 3 skills are, Sniper, Thirst for Blood, and Hasty Wish, that would help us out. If you know anybody that has it, if they've learned it, it'll be in their Adventurers Guild in the game. So we don't know what those do.
All right, check this out. So here it is. We got Sirius saying pocket sand because he loves like the old Hill gang there, King of the Hill. Bob Hill. We've got Bob Nuffin saying I like haste. I'm disappointed didn't get flooded to the floor. I have haste.
Spoiler alert.
I own it. Okay,
sell it to me.
Alert. Kung Fu, I think second. Kung Fu is going to join us, but he's putting his children to bed, I believe. I think second win will be pretty OP for the warrior, especially if developing the wisdom direction when you level up and choose equipment. Okay, so that's the thing is I like wisdom because it gives you agility, it gives you a dodge, you know. So we'll talk about all this stuff, right? Like as we go through the tier list. But I do like anything that deals with wisdom because it gives you dodge. Renpin likes Berserk. Kong likes Pocket Sand. I mean, of course, it's a flea, so Pocket Sand, the flea can be for any hero. Make an enemy tier list next. That's what we really need. Most dangerous chunkers by zone. That's hilarious. Okay, so we really only got like a couple things there. Okay, so that's gone. Now we'll look at that again later. And
well, maybe Kung Fu can show us Hasty Wish because apparently, I think he didn't learn it. Burrito is saying in chat. Anyways,
yeah,
sorry.
no big deal. Okay, so we're gonna go through the tier list, and let me bring that thing up again here. So here's the tier list. Also, a big fun thing is that I am now broadcasting not only to YouTube and to I think we're on Twitter right now, and let's see, and I'm also on this new platform called Xenon. I'm live. I probably should put like a link to Xenon in the tweet that I made, but I'd already made the tweet, and like, let's go talk because Troy. He asked me when I'm going live, and he was going to use the Xenon account to like tweet out our stuff because we're on Xenon. I'm like, hello, I'm live, and now I'm like, where did he go? So let me go. I'm going to go in the Xenon chat right now. The street team. I am live, bro, on Xenon. Troy said he would tweet me out. I'm gonna rail into Troy right now because he's like, I'll tweet you out and you go live. And then if you say that and then you don't, I am gonna hound you for the whole day, bro. Because like people love to say they're gonna do stuff in Web3 and then they get busy, and I know people get easily distracted, right? Unlearned skills haven't updated yet, unfortunately, so I don't think it knows what it does either. Good. Okay. Go towards Whitehorns. Fun times. Kung Fu's here. What's up, Kung Fu?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Sorry, so we were just joshing around until you got here, and we were talking about how cool my artwork is now, and also that a lot of this is hard to figure out these skills and everything, but people seem to like certain ones. So I was just going on Twitter and looking at the tweets that people had, how they responded to the tweet that I made, and we're live on Twitter too, so people can watch that way. I'm going to retweet that. This is really fun, actually. Here, look, you can I'm going to put this in the chat. You can see on this tweet, I'm live on Twitter at the same time, so people can learn about Dragon's Crossing. So, here's my tweet. Okay, there it is. All this skill ranked, and we got a couple of people saying haste, pocket sand, and you said second wind. Okay, so
only me haste.
Only sorry?
Me. Everybody else hates haste. It's only me.
You're the only one that likes it. I like it too. I went and bought it after our tier list before, right? And I also bought another one this morning for it was the one on the floor. So the floor is getting swept up by me because I'm smart. I'm sorry?
Dexterous hands? Nope. Insidious distraction.
It could be. It might be that one.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to step on it.
It's not a big deal. This is all just about having fun and about the goal here. The goal here. Here, let's do this. Let's show what the real goal here. The real goal here, guys, okay, is to have fun and promote the game so that we get more players and people have more fun, and the people playing the game might have more fun playing the game, right? That's really what we care about. And then secondary to that is like strategy and figuring out what the best thing is. Because if you're not enjoying playing the game and there's not a bunch of people playing it, all the skills and all the strategy in the world ain't going to matter. It doesn't matter at all. So that's secondary, right? And now we're going to go and make this cool, fun tier list. And I love the fact that they have this cool website with the tier list maker. And I'm going to, and I love that I'm looking at the tier list right now. Look, I'm looking right at it. So this is the tier list. And I can even give links to people so they can look at it as we go through. You know what I mean? You can actually see the tier list. You can even do it at home. I'll put it in the damn chat. You can load it up at home and look at it. I don't know. Maybe they'll even let you manipulate it at home. I don't know it's probably a bad idea to share it, huh? So the first one we have here, I think, is that overhand
shot. Can you zoom a bit?
I'm sorry?
Can you zoom a bit?
Yeah. Let's zoom in. Let's zoom in so we can see them. Thank you for reminding me about that. Okay, so we can see them. That's as much as I can zoom in, I think. Let me see if I can zoom any more. On zoom in. Yeah, this is as much as it'll let me zoom. Can you see it all right? So this is overhand chop. It's I can also do another thing. You know what I can do? Actually, you know what I can do? I just thought of this. I can also do this. I can also go through and Let me find them. I can actually bring them up really big so people can see them better. That's actually a good idea. I just thought of this. This might be a better way to be able to see it, and I can jump back and forth too. So I can do this where I share overhand chop. Maybe I can find out a faster way to do this. But if I do this, I can share overhand chop so you can see it really fast, really close, right? So this is overhand chop. It deals 1 dice to 6, and then it also adds strength divided by 7, right? So this is kind of like similar to Insidious Distraction, right? Where like now they've added in an attribute.
Yes. So I kind of, first of all, all these skills are, most of these skills, except for overhand chop and the other basic ones, are ones we've never used. So take all this as with a grain of salt. But yeah, everything, they kind of modeled most of the damage skills after Insidious Distraction, like this one, because that was kind of the thing that emerged. I was unfortunately not smart enough to figure it out in time to do a really good score with it, but that was the top score. That was the chance at the guy beating the top score, Citron, was basically doing the same thing where you just spam something like overhand chop, but the parameters are all different now. The most important thing here with the overhand chop is that it costs 5 skill points now, which is going to be a common theme for all these skills, is that they cost a lot more, which means you can just expect to have a lot less impact from your skills over the course of this season as compared to last season, because I think they were extremely impactful last season. Whereas this season, they have made the choice to make them less impactful. And I don't necessarily think it's good or bad, but it's just a lot different.
Do you think their plan was to make all the skills pretty even? Like, so it's like almost impossible to make a tier list? Does that you think that's
no.
I think
Not
that's
at all.
I think that's what their goal was. I feel like they took anything that looks like it was good and they just nerfed it, and they took the things that are bad and made it better.
I do think they did that, but I don't think if they meant to make them even, I think they failed pretty much.
Bob, you're going to realize I'm never wrong, all right? You're going to realize this, okay? I'm just kidding, but I'm not.
So overhand chop, it used to cost 3 and do a D12, which was 6.5 damage on average.
Yep.
This time it costs 5 and does a D6, which is 3.5 damage, plus strength divided by 7. So how these strength, I'm not sure that Insidious Distraction work like this. I didn't test it. But how these fractions work, they do round to the nearest integer for the output. So if you, and a better way to say that is, if you have a strength of 13, you will do 2 damage from this because it rounds from 13 to 14. If you have a strength of 15, you will do 2 damage because it rounds from 15 to 14.
Oh,
so that's a good thing to think about. And I have not yet.
That makes sense. Okay.
I have not yet been able to test. It doesn't work for divided by 7, but if it was divided by 6, I don't know what it does when you're exactly in the middle. But
you get a gold star today for deep thinking. All these big words and math. 8-bit tendies is in the house. What's up, buddy?
Just you wait, 8-bit tendies.
Just you wait. Do you have us on the TV again, 8-bit tendies? He's at home on his couch just eating like potato chips, just watching us on screen.
We have full order of operations in effect.
Dude, let me tell you something. This is why we need to be entertaining, because people like 8-bit tendies are at home and he's eating 8-bit tendies on the couch instead of watching Jerry Springer or the news or something really cool. He's watching us, okay? So we got to like take 8-bit tendies and be like and I hope he shares his tendies with us too. You know,
well, I don't know how entertaining I can make. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally.
No, you do the math part, and I'll just do reactions to your math.
It's important to give respect to the parentheses and the multipliers.
Yeah, like the foil and like
we'll get to that. But this one's pretty easy. Overhead chop.
They should use this to teach math in school, is what you're saying.
Yes. But yeah, this one's pretty easy to figure out. It's just straight damage. On my spreadsheet, I've been looking at the skills. I have 4 different types for the skills. Basically, damage would be like this. A debuff is affecting your the villain stats, the opponent stats. Buff is obviously increasing your stats. And then utility, I use for the other one for either healing or running away.
So this is
so those are the 4.
Should we do it in a format where like we do overhand chop and insidious like all at the same time because they all do they all do the same thing? Do they all have
They
have
kind of
different...
do. There are straight debuff. I mean, sorry, straight DPS ones, quite a
Right.
few, and then there's quite a few that do some damage but also debuff a little bit.
Let's
So it
look.
doesn't really work. But it is. I think it's useful when evaluating overhand chop. Is like, when are you loading this for 5 points as opposed to something else?
Well,
like, and that
they're
depends
not
on what
all the
skills,
same too, because like insidious distraction is different. It costs 6 points and it does quickness divided by 6, and you have to be level 7. So
And also 2 dices of 6. You
oh yeah,
roll
and 2
2
dice of
dices.
6. So it's a totally different formula, I guess. So we should probably just do all these individually. I was wondering if they were very similar, and they're really not. I mean,
they're kind of not.
They're structured similarly, but all the stats are different.
Well, at level 1, you don't have much choice as any class. You need to use a starter skill until level 4.
So does that make it higher though? Because it's like you just use it from the beginning anyways, like higher rank, you know what I mean, in the tier list.
I think it'd be useful to kind of rank the basic skills on their own a little bit, and then the other ones.
I mean,
because everybody has.
Yeah. Is this the type of game you have to imagine to know what's going on, or their visual actions you can see? So like it's like we'll show some gameplay in a little bit where like it's 2D. It's kind of like if you took Splinterlands, like the 2D card games like Magic the Gathering, but you like combined it with an adventure where you're going places and different things are happening. There's voiceovers. So like I've never played a game like this before, but there's a lot of them that are like cult classics and still coming out. Roguelike games like this that I've seen even now are very popular, but it's kind of like if you go into Reddit and look at Slaying the Spire and some other like roguelike games, they have like 100, 200,000 people in their Reddit subgroups. Like it's completely nuts that there's such a hardcore community that's huge, but I just had never been aware of it until now. And it blows my mind. So this genre of game that we're playing, the roguelike games, it's like a dungeon crawler. You've got like a map, but you can't really see where you're going because it's like 2D thing. So like you don't see the map. You're just going along blindly through the forest and things happen to you. So you know how in like Zelda, you're just walking around, all of a sudden things like jump at you, or Final Fantasy and a monster comes out? It's kind of like that because you click in, you go and you fight the monsters. Could be a monster, could be something else. But the thing is, you really have to play the game to really get it because it's dangerous. You have to use your imagination, but the voices are cool. Like, but really though, you don't really have to use that much imagination. But it is kind of like a lot of fun. There's dice rolling and all this stuff, right? So we'll show you the game. The game shows you everything as far as the dice rolling and stuff. You just don't see the character actually like hitting the other character, right? But it feels really real to me. So we'll go through and show you all that stuff, you know, gray hairs and everything. But let's do this. Let's go through and just rank these and just rank them. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but what would be like the main criteria, what goes higher and lower? Now we're at the beginning of the season, and remember last time we did this tier list, we were at the end of the first season,
right?
And we decided just to rank the skills, like which skill is going to help you kill the final boss, because it was the main target, like the season goal. And now it's the same season goal, but maybe we should think like the overall rating, because in my opinion there are like a few stages, like a beginner stage, like zone 1,
we should rank them for right now. We should rank them for right now because people are already dying in the streets, dude. Everyone's like,
right now it's very easy. Like you start with 15 points, and somebody made a very nice comment in Discord. You can have 3 grapples instead of 2 overhand chops for 15 skill points.
Right.
So
yep.
So
it's 12 actually.
Oh, 12. Yeah. 12. So what I'm doing, like at level 1, I get 3 uses of the skill that costs 4 points to use. Then at level 2, I'm switching. I remove 1 point from,
and then you go to overhand chop,
and I go to overhand chop. It's the same with the ranger. I start with 3 herbal knowledge and then slightly move towards barbed projectile, and with the mage again, because the damage potent skills cost more skill points per use. With the warrior, though, it's really close because you don't have that much strength to make a difference with the ratio. So grapple and overhand chop are pretty close. So
okay, so this is the thing is like, I'm looking at the screen now. We got overhand chop, grapple. These are all we're doing warrior stuff first, right? We're just gonna go through the warrior things because that's the decisions you're making. You're making the decisions with a warrior. What warrior skills should I use, right? So
yeah, but imagine, we had a conversation before. Should we also think in terms of what character we want to build? Is it going to be based on quickness, like we had the quickness meta the previous season, or something else, something new that nobody thought of, and maybe it will win the season for you? And what I came up in my last video, which hasn't been published yet, but is the question that you need to ask yourself: how are you going to flee the battles? How are you going to stay alive?
The show I did yesterday, which I don't know if you know this, but I did a huge kickoff show, Kung Fu, okay, and I did one, and I talked about the game, and I was like, basically fleeing is the biggest thing, right? Like that's the number one thing we're worried about.
And we don't feel safe now in the first or the second zone. People are dying like flies.
I died in the game and in real life at the same time. You missed it. I was talking about it. I was playing the game. I started playing the warrior. I played a couple rounds. Then I did something, came back, played a couple rounds, and I passed out. I woke up on my desk, and I didn't even know what was going on. I looked up at my screen here, and it said defeated. I was dead, and I'm just like, I literally didn't even remember playing the last two characters. I had like blacked out and passed out. And because we've been 4th of July partying all day. I drank one beer, like whatever. Anyways, my point is I work hard, Kung Fu. I work 24 hours a day. I barely sleep on this, and all I'm doing is this stuff. So we know that you can die. I died, and I died in real life. I died, and I was
it's not a pleasant experience.
I was like this. I died in real life. It's like the Matrix, where if you die in the Matrix, your body dies. Okay,
but hey, if you're gonna die, do it now. It's a lot less.
That's the thing. Is I always tell people that too. If you're gonna last season, before the season, I was like, if you're gonna take chances and want to die, do it in the beginning of the game. But as you go through the game, don't take as many chances and don't die.
Don't go to zone 2 because that'll screw up your blacksmith.
Too
early.
Dude,
I told everybody the last 2 days. Everyone,
you're 100% right. Yep.
Yeah, I was yelling at people like all these people are trying to get these fake rankings to go to zone 2 because that's how the leaderboard looks like. The further along in the game you are, the higher you're ranked. But then you have to go back to zone 1 because you can't even fight in zone 2, and you're wasting quests. So
and if you die, you're screwed if you don't.
You screw up your blacksmith.
I learned that the giant majority of people that play these video games are complete morons and are only there to flex on people. I never.
You didn't know that already?
I never flex on people, and I don't wear fur coats. Okay. So, anyways.
That's why we're here to spread the knowledge about the game. We want everybody to be good, and to do good.
The thing is, I want everyone to be good, but I want to be better than them, right? Like I'll share with you what I know, but then I'm going to figure out, and then you share, and then we all get better.
Well, even if they have the same knowledge as us, we have more heroes, right? I have 17 heroes in this season.
Nice.
Season 2. It takes me forever. To quest them all, but
you got to take rolling off at that point, like the rolls and stuff, right? I love using the rolls. Bob, do you want to disclose how many you have? I have 10, but I only have 5 on my screen right now because I bought some from someone. They still have to send them to me, but I'm gonna have 10.
I have 9 that I've registered for season 2, 3 of each, and then I have 4 other ones that I'm thinking about what I want to do with them, but I'll probably end up registering them. So I have 13 total.
Well, I know there's a lot of people that not a lot, but there's people that have like 60, 100 of them, and I'm guessing a lot of them didn't register all their heroes, right? They might have. I don't know,
but
there's
so
no
far,
rush.
So far, it's a pretty good. Blotter said in Discord he feels positive about 500 plus registered
We're
heroes
almost
already.
At 600 now. We're at like 590.
Oh, I missed that, but I think we can reach.
Kung Fu, where you been? Why are you trying to have family time or something? Come on now. So
right.
yes, we're at just so you guys know, whenever I give people a hard time, it's just because that's how we do it with our friends. All right, it's like I'm pointing out that it's really actually good to spend time with your family. Don't spend all your time on Dragon's Crossing, okay? Unless you actually are cool. So then, yeah, 593 and went up like almost 100 in a day, and now today I think it's going to go up too because I know that there's a lot of people like me that bought heroes of other people and stuff like that, and they haven't gotten them yet, stuff like that.
So it
I was
really
with 3 heroes last season. I played mostly with 3 heroes and got one as a reward from the team. So 4 heroes, and now I'm at 17. And I also expect some more coming from one deal, like 10 more. And probably I'll
sweet.
sign the best from those, like legendaries and mythics for sure, and maybe some rare with some nice stats.
So
Definitely more going on a bit later.
very cool.
My point is that even if probably the player base is the same or maybe increased a bit, people are signing in, registering more heroes for the second season.
Look, Chatty Cathy. The point is that everyone go register all your heroes right now. Okay, just go register them because, as you heard the alpha, everyone kind of has a lot of the same information. But the more heroes you have, the better
the
chances
more
you have.
heroes, the better chances, the more chances to do good.
And I'm telling you, all the people I know that have like 60 heroes, they learn stuff in the game way before me because they are playing more often. So they are way more knowledgeable than I am, and even probably all of us here. Like Johnny has like 60 heroes, and he's constantly posting stuff like a day or two before everyone else finds it. You know what I mean? Like or figuring stuff out before everyone else. So when you do that,
yeah,
you can apply all that knowledge and be ahead of everybody.
I managed to discover what non-combat encounters do fairly quickly. I risked it with all my heroes because I also thought that they would be reset of the season. But anyways, if
Well, you
have
got the
17
treasure
heroes,
box. You got some kind of weird thing that
yeah.
flies around. There's a lot of weird interactions this time.
Yeah, but there are really nice nice things.
The treasure box gives you stuff, right?
And takes as
I've only
well.
gotten experience from it, so it's
You got
been pretty
experience.
awesome.
You can get experience points from the treasure box. It's really cool.
Very
I
nice.
like that.
But I
we have a
haven't got the
question,
other
though.
side of it
But
yet.
you don't want to receive the negative. I can tell you what it does.
No, yeah. Well, I guess you
or you want to experience it yourself.
I don't really want to know personally because it's like terrible. But let's answer Ramon's question. Can you explain benchmark quests? And I believe the answer to that is that those are the quests that are count towards like your season total for like the leaderboard, right? Like meaning
yes,
those are the official quests amount.
It's
that,
how
that
many
are counted.
how many whatever zone you're in. So currently we're probably all in zone 1. If you got to zone 2, that's a checkpoint. It's how many quests it took you to get to the checkpoint. So right now, whoever went to zone 2, like you could get there on like quest number 2 or 3 and not find anything and then go away and you'll be number 1 on the leaderboard, but it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't actually mean anything until we're through 5 zones.
Right. Until
you actually made a bad decision, because you wasted 2 quests that you can get more experience and go further ahead.
Right. We're all in agreement here. We're smart.
Something that I learned watching I Know Kung Fu is that when it comes to zone 5, that is when it is actually very good to perhaps even take a chance against the zone 4 boss to try to get there and then come back as soon as possible. Because I actually made quite a bit of cash on from the leaderboards based on that benchmark, because I wasn't going to be able to kill the boss with my with some of those heroes anyways. So locking in that quickly got me like $40 instead of 20 if I hadn't done it.
This was kind of like the secondary goal of the season. If you cannot kill the boss, whoever traveled the quickest with the least amount of quests to zone 5 is ahead in the leaderboard. And we got, I think, like 150 people killing the boss. So
yeah. So Raymond,
heroes, I mean.
Oh, okay, Raymond, don't worry too much about benchmark quests until we're at zone 5. Then it starts to matter.
Zone 4.
What do you mean?
In zone 4, you kill the zone 4 boss and travel to the Dark Tower and go back.
Yes.
So in zone 4, you need to step up the pedal, but until then, you need to use as efficiently this quest as possible to level up, to be able to beat the zone 4 boss, because it was a really hard encounter for
Gotcha.
and
Yeah,
many people
zone
started
4 is
dying
where you
there.
want to take a chance and try to kill the golem.
Mhm.
Gotcha. So
Yeah, but reasonable chance. You cannot do it if you
Don't
have
die.
4 level differences. I
Yeah,
don't
don't
think
die.
it will be possible to kill the golem if there are 4 level difference between
I
the
I
golem
would
and your
agree with that.
character.
You would need some really good skills at that point.
But
So to
yeah,
speak.
skills may be good, but you notice that their
I'm
the
with you.
price to have a single use increased dramatically for all skills.
Yes.
There is maybe only one skill that costs 3 skill points per use. All
Amazing.
others are 4 or greater.
You guys, I'm not paying attention to anything you're saying right now. I'm messaging Bloater Punch. Okay.
No problem.
Yep. No, and I agree with what Kung Fu was saying earlier about in terms of ranking these. Now, since we're ranking early in the season as opposed to late in the season, like your last video, I think it's helpful to think of these kind of in the context of when you get the skill, meaning that yes, the level 15 skills are like in a vacuum the most powerful skills, but that doesn't necessarily make them all S tier and A tier.
That's why there's
you can
so
get
much decision making here, because you can do a tier system, but what if all the S tiers are like level 15
Well,
skills?
don't
Like,
do it.
can't
You
even
got to
do
think about it for
You
the
have to
life
use
of your
own
hero.
decision making.
Because a level 7 skill is going to get 8 levels worth of play before you even get to a level 15 skill, and it's going to help you. It's going to help your overall score so much more. So, getting back to overhand chop, this is a pretty average skill. My goal for most of my warriors is not to be using overhand chop at some point because I got another skill. So I kind of want to grade it, if the best thing I could say, it does scale, which is nice. It's a lot better in the late game than the other old overhand chop, I think. Despite costing more, it scales because you can get to 50, 60 strength, and then you're looking at, let's see, if you get to 60 strength, you're looking at sorry, go ahead. 8.
Did the poll people vote
damage.
yes in the poll for resetting the season?
Yes.
Let me tell you why people voted. Guess why people said yes on resetting the season. Let me give you one guess. You guys
play
guess
more and get NFTs.
Yes. That is why they
Yes.
voted yes to reset the season. People are DMing me, they're going to reset the season. I'm like, every single person that voted yes to reset the season did it because they just want more NFTs, okay? Like, how is that not completely obvious to everybody? Like, hello? Do you use your brain? Like, this is the thing. In technical things, like, do you actually think outside of the specific technical thing that you're talking about, right? Like, there's this concept called context of like, hey, when you do that thing, then what also is going to happen? What other stuff is going to happen, right? Driftwood voted no, right? They died. Also, yes, they died and they're mad because they died. Everyone died and wanted to reset the season. Guess what? You know what you should do? Grow some balls and play the damn game and try to be good at it. Okay, get good. Okay, so anyways.
I voted yes just because they said it was going to be really easy to fix and no problem. But if it comes out, and it has come out, that it's going to be more of a...
He got kicked off the show. I'm just kidding, Bob. So you got kicked off the show, Bob. Now you're back. So
you're gonna have to kick off 70% of your player base, dude.
There's no game anymore.
Everybody leave
gone.
if you voted yes. Doug's
but
gonna
the
talk
thing
to
though
himself.
is that the intention of the vote was for something else. It was because someone with the skill stuff kind of bled over a bit, but no one's voting because of that at all.
I know. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, Kung Fu had a couple extra skills and probably didn't heal basically and saved a couple of quests on one day. Whatever.
Dude, please
it's not that big
have
of a deal.
5 more quests.
Well,
on me.
I can tell you actually. I talked a lot about this in my last video. So the best performing hero, he didn't use the herbalist at all, and he get to level 3 with 15 quests because it takes 14 experience to do so. And I get some treasure chests, and I travel to the next zone today, and basically now he's level 4 on the second day, and he has 4 experience points towards level 5, and almost all my characters are now level 4, and they have 1, 2, 3 experience to level 5. So this guy, he has 1 experience advantage over other characters that I have, and they didn't exploit this bug. So I don't think it is that impactful. Maybe somebody made much better decisions and managed to gain more from this bug, but I don't think it's that significant to win you the whole season.
I agree. It was a minor thing.
I just take bloater
it
in the
happened,
Discord
and then life
I
moved on.
called out every single person in the Discord right now. You know what? Because gaming is about competition and being like, hey, I'm going to compete against you
That's
and
not
have
what
fun
it's about,
and win.
Douglas.
It's not about trying to like sneak around and be sneaky.
This is why I voted with yes also, because I wanted the reset. Because when I win the whole thing, I want people not to whine about it.
I
want
just wrote
fair
in the Discord, did even one person vote for the actual intention of the question? I wanted one person. Please tell me you voted because the little bitty skill thing that means almost nothing, that you voted yes. Please come up and tell me right now.
I voted from
in
decades
the Discord
of watching nerds act like nerds and raging and complaining and whining. And if you can avoid giving them a legitimate reason, like a bug that gave somebody else advantage, I think you should. If it's too hard, whatever, move over. It's not.
I mean, that's
not
the
a
thing
big
is that,
deal.
like, sure, I can benefit from it. If they reset, I benefit too. But you know what happens? You know what happens though? All of a sudden, I start to not believe in what I'm doing. I start to not be like confident and caring about what I'm doing and feeling good about what I'm doing and like actually like I'm accomplishing something. I feel like I'm just cheating. And like, you know what I mean? It just doesn't feel like I'm actually trying to compete and trying to compete against my friends and be better than them and actually be better. Because if I beat someone and I'm ranked high or I'm better than you or I beat the final boss, you know how good that feels when I did it because of like just trying an effort versus like trying to do some little cheat codes and stuff. That's part of the reason it's hard to play online too with various games, right?
Wait, so are you?
Yeah,
you seem like you're in favor of a reset then, because if you're playing and at the end of the season you lose by one quest to somebody who got 6 extra skills on day one, there you go. That's how they got you. How you gonna feel about that?
I just said earlier that I don't care.
Well,
like there's gonna be a little bit of a bug here and there in the game.
I agree.
Like that's why I keep saying it's this little bitty thing. I don't give a damn about it whatsoever. I care zero, absolutely zero about that situation. Absolutely. I mean, are you kidding? In the grand scheme of this game, of all the decisions you have to make, like, I mean, if you care about that, you can complain all day about like your skills the attributes you start off with or whatever. You could have a list of 8,000 things you complain about, about this game. So
that's welcome to gaming.
Well, that's the thing is that like I'm here to kick everybody in the teeth and to be a real like adult human being, okay? Because this is a thing, like we're here to have fun and to like enjoy the game. And that's why even we're doing tier lists. You guys coming and giving your alpha or your knowledge on this game is amazing because you're being selfless and giving and caring about other people. And part of the reason I came into Web3 gaming is because I saw a lot of gaming communities where they're so supportive and so nice and had so much fun. Like they'd be on like a Twitch stream and they would have hundreds of people and they would go raid another Twitch stream and do really cool stuff for them and be giving and nice to them. And the people there would be like freaked out. They'd be like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing ever, right? So we have a lot of that cool sentiment in Web3. And that's why these streams are alive and why we're doing this stuff. And it's also fun to really be able to express your opinion and who you are. I want everyone to really feel good about themselves and have confidence and feel good about being part of what's going on, right? I don't want to do things that like ever take away from that, right? And the founding team's doing a great job of trying to be open and putting these polls out for people to really like, make those decisions and help give feedback, which is super amazing and great. 8-bit attendees in the house, right?
Ultimately, they're the ones who know how hard it's going to be to change anything. So
this is the problem.
See to their discretion.
This is the problem.
They got the final call.
Polls
Polls
are
just a poll.
When you give the community a gigantic amount of input, like when
they probably shouldn't have done that.
Believe me, I know personally how much they take the input and like really care about it because I'm talking to them constantly about this stuff and I see the decisions they make and why. And it's not just here. It's not this Discord. It's in all these Twitter spaces I do all over the place, places where most of you guys haven't even been, right? I see it all the time. It's completely nuts how much they care. So what I constantly do is I like go like, hey, it's amazing to hear feedback and to listen to everyone, but please have context because sometimes people give you a bunch of feedback and it's not really what it should be. It's not like doesn't match up. You know what I mean? But like you tend to want to listen to people, right? So when you have a poll where you have all these people voting yes, it makes them want to do it really bad, even though people are voting for not the intended reason. So
okay, well, let me.
He wants me to bust out the guitar. I have it right here. I will bust it out, but I'm not a good guitar player. I'm working on that. All right.
Well, let me ask you a question, Douglas. What tier do you have overhand chop in?
Oh, that's a good question, and that's what my mom.
50 minutes in.
15 minutes in overhand
50.
chop. So if this is me, are we looking at this right now?
Let's do the tier list.
Let's do a tier list. Now we've done a proper rant where like I'm trying to become a really good gaming streamer. And you guys also please rate me in the comments of like my ability to be a streamer and like be really excited because I have to get even more. I get better at being excited about stuff, right? Like yelling about stuff, shoutcasting, right? I got to be like Classic Games is good at that. This is part of the problem is I have no idea where to put things in the tier list. But if I had to guess, I'd put overhand chop like just right in the middle. I would be like, it's pretty good, it's useful. But the cost amount involved, I just don't know. I'm not sure. So I would put it as like a B.
Yep, I'm kind of a hard grader.
B are solid skills. Last time we explained what these tiers mean. Like S is like super good to have, maybe OP. A is like above average good. B is solid. C is something that you can live without, probably good in situational things in certain situations, and D is kind of like a trash, like you should not learn it, or it will be super situational. Do you agree with this
yes.
explanation of?
I say the best you group the best skills in A to start with, and then if there's a skill in there or a couple skills in there that are so much better than the rest of that tier that they just have to have a tier on their own. That's my kind of vision of S tier, is that something just supersedes the highest tier. So, but I'm a little bit more of a strict grader on these. I'm kind of like, basically, how do I feel about using overhand chop like throughout the game? If I'm going to do it, it's going to be fine. It does scale now, so I think you can beat the boss with overhand chop and grapple. I think you would use a lot of overhand chops in that situation. I think it's perfectly fine, but it doesn't get me excited. I want to replace it. I want to load something else if I can. Therefore, I put it as a C.
In my opinion, it's a B because it's something that a lot of people, they have only overhand chop, for example, and
it doesn't make it good. It's just
it's
how
not
it
good,
is.
but you have it like without paying for it.
It's BC. The thing is, we can always adjust as we go, and plus this tier list is not crazy, insane accurate. It's just kind of a general like idea, right? And this is the thing is like I don't really know. I haven't sat here and thought about these skills very much because I've been so busy doing all the streaming stuff, and like it takes a crazy amount of hours of contacting people, setting up schedules. Like it's just like my whole life is consumed by it. So like I didn't really have time to sit down and look at
no
everything.
worries. That's why we go through them to start with, and then we put them somewhere, and then we go on to the next one.
So we're putting overhand chop in B right now, and
it will scale now. It will be better, in my opinion, for late game. It's not mitigated damage. You can spam it every turn, or you will have like maximum of how much, like 29 points.
Yep.
Skill points. So you can have like 5 uses of overhand chop and 1 grapple for the final boss.
Yeah, I mean, I beat the boss last season with just overhand chop and grapple on a warrior. It was perfectly fine, and it's better than that now. It's a lot better now.
All right, so
well, it's better though. It's less uses, but the scaling with strength makes it better now than last season.
Yeah, and I think the average damage will be much better.
Yes.
Grapple, I
wait,
think...
first before we commented on, what do you guys feel about the artwork on Grapple? Like the dude with his eyes.
It's a little weird.
Like it's like a little bit.
This
is by far the best artwork of any skill.
That's
like,
kind of an odd choice
here, and
I'm in danger.
Not only that, there's a lot. You could go a lot of ways with this, but like, anyways, it's just kind of it's definitely provocative and crazy. I love it, and
So grapple, it scales similarly in damage to overhand chop. Actually,
In the early levels.
yes, in the early levels especially, strength plus agility divided by 13 is more than strength divided by 7
Yeah.
if your agility is high, which it won't be. So in the early levels, it actually scales better damage because it's 4 points instead of 5. In the later game, overhand chop is going to do a significant amount more damage, even with the extra point. It's been really hard to tell if this is a bonus or a buff or a debuff for yourself, this secondary part, because we don't really have that much information about the monster parry. So I think it's better than it was. It was one of the worst skills. I still have it at a C.
Yeah, I agree with C here because it's just better for the beginning and maybe situational for some boss that parries a lot that you can use it. And also 4 points per use seems like on the lower end.
Yes.
For most skills, so it's not total garbage. Maybe I agree with C.
And not for nothing, but there is another skill, a higher level skill in Warrior that we can come back to in terms of synergy that also scales with agility specifically. So if you're building towards this higher level skill that you spent, you got, I'm talking about riposte. There's no need to be silly about it. But at level 15, then I think your grapple gets a lot better because you get basically leverage on every point you get in agility. You're using it for multiple skills. So. I would say it's C for most everybody, but it could be better if you're an agility warrior.
You guys are great at doing this. I'm texting.
And just to add to that, you can be a great agility warrior only if you have run like the wind. Because if you count on quickness to flee from battles, you need to do primary attribute first, and then quickness, and then what's left for agility.
It's a rear naked choke. See, I thought that it might be a rear naked choke.
Yes, it is.
That's also Apetenni's a jujitsu practitioner. I don't know what Apetenni's. Can you give us more information? Are you like a black belt? What level are you? Thank you for sharing that. Anyways, in the chat, the decision was made not to reset. It looks like because that's what I thought, but everyone kept saying whatever. My point is, I try to like cut through all the fog of the war and get to what the actual things are. Right? What's the actual answers? What is actually happening? Because people kept messaging me over and over that they were voting yes because they wanted NFTs and shit. And I don't know if it was as a joke or what, but like it was like everybody was telling me this. I was just like, oh, that's why I'm going off about it because I got a gigantic amount of people saying that. So, anyways,
decentralized game design is problematic.
Jiu-jitsu, okay, Ape attendees. I appreciate your feedback on this artwork. I'll let the artist know that like this is a rear naked choke, just so they know that. Okay, so it deals 1d. So this is the thing. Okay, now we're done like with our ranting with that stuff. But the things I'm trying to protect the integrity of the game and the integrity of people and like everything. And like my whole goal is to make the game successful so that everyone can enjoy it and like so that we have somewhere for all these wonderful people to hang out. And so 1d6 damage, strength and agility divided by 13, damage reduced parry for both monster and hero by 80% for 2 rounds. So this seems like you said it's like a tier list. It's like decent. It's like okay. Like it basically just deals damage, but it reduces both your parries. And usually your warrior parry is going to be higher than the monster parry, right? Maybe.
Probably.
At the start, it's like 5% or something. So it doesn't
matter that much.
It doesn't matter in the beginning.
It's not clear. It's not clear that the second part of this is even helpful.
Right. Yes. The second part of it might not be helpful at all.
So.
In my opinion, it's more damaging to you, especially later, after maybe including even zone 3. Maybe
so we're gonna put grapple.
I think C.
C.
I think C, but you could do a certain build that makes it better, but
so
we're
not
talking better than overhand chop, not great.
So it gets a passing grade, but it's not a flunking grade. It's a C.
No, I don't think it's a D. I think it's okay. I think it's a lot better than
we're going off a lot of what you guys think, and then we can readjust because for me, just being honest, it's hard for me I can guess, but I haven't really sat and thought about it a ton. So this is really good though. Okay, so let's go to the next one that everyone loves, some grappling, right? So we're going to go to Second Wind.
Oops, so Justin Lowe, I like the point that he's making here, where you can use these damage spells, overhand chop, grapple, Insidious, all that kind of stuff. When the fight is almost over and you don't want to take another hit,
yes,
you can just use it, and it scales better now than it used to, because it used to just be a D6 for grapple. So grapple was really bad at closing out a fight if they got like 4 health or whatever. But with these static bonuses based on your stats, you can reliably close out these fights and save yourself that last hit.
You know, and I did it a lot in season 1 with the ones that are just straight damage. I would do that at the end, and sometimes I wouldn't even have a good shot at killing them.
Yeah,
for that hit, but the hit that I use with it, then it gives a way better chance of that actually killing them too. So,
yep, that's a good point. And the way they scale now is a lot better for that.
Yeah, so that's really, really good. And so that's the thing is that like what they did when they balanced all this stuff, was they made stuff like this a little bit more useful. And so we're gonna look at I believe this is a healing one now for and really, guys, to be honest, the purpose of these tier lists are not only just to learn about them and what ones we like the best, but also it helps you make decisions. If you want to go and get some skills off OpenSea and you're not sure what should I get, what are the better skills, I guarantee you that 95% of people playing this game look at OpenSea and they're like, I don't know what to do. So we're here to be like, hey, here's skills that really can help you, and they might be really good for you to get. Before this stream even started, I went and bought the floor NFT skill. And yes, it was Insidious Distraction or whatever. It was the one that like was used to win season 1 basically, or like rank really high. It was like one of the OP skills, and it still works pretty good. And I don't have it, and it was on the floor, so I bought it. It was below even all the other ones that people are like valuing low, and I was like, that might be one of the better skills, so I'm just gonna get it. And that's what I think is like, I'm the probably type of person that I'm gonna, if I tell you to do stuff or say you probably should, I'll go do it first. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna go and I went and got it. So, and also that benefits me because if I'm smart, then it makes me helps me win. So that's the thing. Should have bought Dexter's hands. There's like 8 of them there, bro. Katrina, there's like 8 on the floor. You can go get one right now. But I got the smart move. So second wind heals 1d10. Is that say percentage?
Plus,
yeah, it's percentage.
And then a wisdom.
Probably from max health.
Is this another wisdom thing with the warrior? Do we have
all healing spells are scaling with wisdom?
The
only difference is that the mage healing spell costs 5 points.
It costs more.
And the warrior and the ranger.
Okay, I've decided right now, everyone, I'm going to dump so many skill points into wisdom, bro. On just across the board, all over the place. All right.
Yeah, I also think if we can call the season 1 meta the quickness meta, maybe season 2 will be the heal meta.
Wisdom healing meta, because it was no heal meta. Now it is the heal meta, and I did make that joke, didn't I? I told Doc, I'm like, no heal meta is over. Like now it's
the heal meta.
No, it was like when to heal meta or something, whatever it is. I don't know. But anyways, it's the heal meta. Wisdom seems to be really important. So this could be really good because if you have a warrior with really good defense, healing could be really good because if you're stretching out those hit points and you can stretch them out even more, then all of a sudden you could maybe go a whole day without healing, right?
Warriors get the most hit points when they level up. Sometimes they get +3,
right? The percentage is interesting.
Yeah,
for the warriors specifically.
I feel like
they may not have a lot of wisdom, but they have more health pool. And they will heal for more, even if
my warrior might have a lot of wisdom. Let me see how much wisdom I have on my warrior. I'm going to look at my warrior and see how much.
And the thing is that they're more the combat encounters, non-combat encounters.
My warrior's wisdom.
There are more encounters that give you health. There is one that gives you 3 health plus 3 health permanent.
So right now, my level 4 warrior has 103 hit points. So, and then as I recall, when we got towards the end last time, warriors had like 250-ish, 240-ish. So percentage off that is, I mean, it's really contextual because you're probably not going to put a lot of level up points into wisdom, but you can gain a lot of wisdom incidentally towards the late game with items.
With items,
yes, very much so. So let's do the math on, like, say we're in the middle game with like 150 hit points. A D10 plus wisdom, say we're at 25. If we've been, 3 points basically, this wisdom divided by 8. So wisdom divided by 8 is going to be 3 points if you're at 21 through 27 wisdom. So somewhere in there probably. So we're at a D10 plus 3 percentage, which is 7.5% on average.
On average, yeah.
Of your entire health. So in the mid game, we're talking about 150 with that wisdom kind of level. That's going to be 7.5 times that. That's 12, 13 healing.
Percentage-wise.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, so that's like, when you heal at the herbalist, that's like 33%, right? So if you're healing like, what do you say, like 10 to 15% or something, that's like half, maybe.
Yeah, it's about in the example I did with like 25 wisdom and 150. It's still only on average. It's a D10, obviously, so it can vary a lot.
Right.
It's 7.5%. No, 8.5%. I did the math wrong.
For just the middle.
So that's like 12 or 13 healing at that level.
Right.
And it is going to be better with with levels. With the
and the thing is,
it
it's
is,
only
but
4
it's
points.
going to scale at approximately that kind of thing, though.
If you think about it taking up 4 skill points, it makes it so like I could easily have a bunch of these, and if I needed to heal like 20 or 30% in a battle, I could, and I could save myself a quest possibly that way.
I think direct damage helps you more.
So you don't think this is a high level tier? Maybe this is like a B level tier or something?
I'm not sold. I think this one's better than the Ranger one. I think the Mage one's interesting, but I don't think the healing is good.
So you don't think it's great. So what do you think this is like?
Because I have to spend 4 points on this instead of a damage spell, so it's not just in a vacuum. And I think I can deal more than 12 or so damage with those points. And that's what I would rather do, because just like making the fight last a shorter amount of time helps me more than healing, in my opinion.
That's a good way to think about it. My way of thinking about it is the emotional way, where it's like, if I'm in a battle and I need something to save me, usually damage stuff doesn't save me, but healing does. Like if I'm all of a sudden going like,
I disagree. If damage isn't going to save you, healing isn't going to save you, because it's all about just how many rounds we have on the battle. I mean, you could construct a scenario where it plays out that way, but
I'm talking about scenarios where like it's a really high chance I die. So if I can give myself like a couple heals,
I think you need to do damage, because
just in my experience,
it really depends on the stage of the game, or maybe the zone you are, because we were discussing this with Tad, and he and I think that maybe zones from 1 to 3 damage or offense, let's say, is more important, because you kill faster the enemies and you spare your health pool this way. But in zone 4 and zone 5, defense is king. So, and this skill will scale better with time. So
yes, it will. And also people might be able to build up their defense and HP specifically for that. But this
yes,
is the thing
there are a lot of encounters that give HP now. I think maybe a warrior can average 300 points at level 19 or 12 or 20.
So that's the thing for me, though, is that like in my experiences, when I'm in a situation where I might die, like healing has saved me way more times than offense has. It's just the situational type stuff. If you're almost going to die and you have like 18 hit points left and you can get like 20 or 30 hit points, then it gives you this opportunity to win in various different ways versus that person, especially if you have good defense. Now, the other opposite of that coin, right, is that you up your power. But if you have a heavy defense warrior, upping your power is not going to be as important as powerful as upping your defense, I don't think. You know what I mean? Like if my warrior from last season, I played the final boss and I would go for like 5 times in a row of not even getting hit at all, but then he would hit me hard, right? And sometimes he would hit me, but it would be 0, like often it'd be 0, right? So I can spread that out so far, especially if I had to fight like another guy. Like what if I'm at the end of the battle and I have like 20 HP left, right? And now I know if I can heal like 30 more HP or 20 more, I can still fight another guy. But if I only have 18 left, I'm not going to go fight another dude. You know what I mean? Like I'm not. So like what I'm saying is that can save you if you have like 1 quest left and you need to fight one more time and you can do a bunch of heals and then you can go play that thing. So I think that you're like not really and putting that into the equation as much as I do, because like that can definitely save you quests.
Yes, I think that's the main point, that healing can make your quests count more if you don't have a heal. So especially in the zones when there is no herbalist, you may try to not heal really, but to not use the herbalist because it's far away. You need to spend 3 or 4 quests to heal, to travel and heal. So if you have a healing spell, it may help you not do that traveling
you
and
could be in
lose
a zone where
quests for
there's no
traveling.
healing, and you have to spend all this time to heal, right? Yeah,
I can agree with that. I buy this strategy a lot more, especially in zone 4.
See
the peaks.
Watch this, people.
I buy
See out
that.
there the brain on this person. See that?
I
Okay,
don't
die.
Yeah, zone 3. There's an herbalist, or no, zone 2. There's an herbalist. Which one is it?
No, zone 3, zone 1, 3, and 5 have herbalist.
Right.
Well,
In
also
season
think
1.
about this. If you're leveling up your wisdom in order to help your healing, you're also going to have a lot higher dodge, maybe. But so this definitely the healing with your mage is going to be really great, even though they did make it the skill point more expensive. But like leveling up that is obviously going to be really good.
Yeah,
so,
I agree with that. I agree. You don't want this for bosses. I think you just want damage. I think when you're leveling up, especially without a healer, I believe this can be an efficient use of your skill points. I'm convinced of that.
So what do you think? Do you still think it's a C list, or do you think this is a B list? What do you guys both vote for?
I wouldn't be opposed to a B. You've convinced me. I was at a C before, but I see some use for it. But I think it's very situational.
Yeah, like it could be a B for a lot of people. I think, especially if you don't have,
especially for the warrior, the healing for the warrior. In my opinion, it's A.
Oh, you see, he thinks it's an A.
Okay. I'm not quite there, but
because they have the most health, and it will scale better. It scales with health and with wisdom. It's not only with one or the other. It's with both.
The percentage
and warriors
base
have the most health, and if you itemize, or if you even you can figure out some scenarios. For example, if you're on full health, you have a specific gear for your combats. You put specific gear for the combats when you're on full health. And once you want to start healing, you save your uses. When you're at half health, for example, you can switch a bit your gear to boost a bit more wisdom to get more percentage, because you know that next battle you're going to heal.
I like that.
Something like that, some more decisions like that. And for warrior, I think it is easier to itemize for and even to level up wisdom, because especially if you have Run Like the Wind. But even if you don't have it, if you do strength, quickness, and wisdom, maybe split the rest of the points between quickness and wisdom, you have means to escape with a regular flee, and you have wisdom, which not only heal scales with, but other skills as well.
Okay, so you think A? I think it's at least a B, and then we got Bob thinking B. So maybe it's a really like in between A and B. I really thought it was like in between A and B type.
I'm convinced. And you're right. There's a very good skill that we're going to get to, Thunderous Bellow, that deals with wisdom as well. So I like that kind of synergy. If you can do it, I think this can be a very good thing. But it does. I think it's. Are we in agreement that it's bad in boss fights, or no? Kung Fu.
Well, in boss fights,
anybody have
we are not going to be
in
able
the chat,
to
people
spam.
feel free to chime in whether they think it's A or B.
We will not be able to spam skills in the boss fights. And my general thought of picking which skills to learn, because we have 6 maximum per hero.
Yes.
You should have a couple at least that have effects that last the whole combat. So you need one use of those skills, and 1 or 2 other skills that you can use in certain situations, maybe heal and blade form parry or whatever. Like, you need to be flexible. I think heal is always good to have.
I'm
with the meta
convinced
that we're in.
I'm convinced on an A, based on what you said about the equipment switching out of combat based on this. I think it's situational. But I think it's very valuable to be efficient getting to the end game. And I think that if you can do that, this is a skill that it gives you an effect that you can only do by using this skill. And I think it is synergistic with some other really good stuff.
Yeah,
so I like it.
The next one, scales and wisdom too. So right now we'll put it in A, but we'll say it's a low level A or something.
What do you think about doing, since everybody has a heal skill and everybody has a flee skill, what do you think about doing the heal skills and the flee skills together?
Yeah.
Sure, we can do that.
Because I think there's a big discrepancy.
So here, let me bring that up. Let's go and do. Well, the thing is, like, there is some context.
Show the regular list. I don't think it's.
What list?
You can zoom like the tier list, and you can zoom as possible, as much as possible. You don't need to single out.
It's kind of blurry when I do though, because we can try.
What do you think in the chat? Is it readable? Can you?
I can barely read it on my screen, and I have it pulled
It's
up.
not very readable.
No, you can zoom more or no?
No, I can't. I literally am zoomed in as much as I can. Zoom in.
Yeah, it's or maybe you can. Anyways,
there's not much difference. So if we went to the Ranger one, it's exactly the same as the Warrior one.
Yes.
So what is the Ranger one called now? Let me look and find
Apply Poultice.
Yeah. So
4 skill points, the exact same healing.
It's the exact same thing. It's 4 skill points in level 4.
I think this is heinous. I think it's a D.
Right, hold on. I'm just gonna look. We're gonna bring it up just so you can see it. All right.
For the reasons that Kung Fu just had about there's a big health discrepancy between Warriors and Rangers, and this is now percentage based, and also Rangers start with a better heal. So this just becomes. I don't think I would ever learn this, and if I did, I don't think I'd use it.
So this for you is like a C.
No, it's a
D. In the grand scheme of things, you may want to go for a few skills actually that scale with wisdom for the Ranger. So if you decide to go with that skills, it may be good, but not as good as second one. I don't agree it's like complete garbage, but probably it's like a C.
I think if something's got to go in the D tier, this is my vote. And I think, if we're doing a balanced tier list, if you have to.
This is what's funny is I really like healing for some reason. I don't know why I like healing so much, because I don't want to die.
Good news, Doug. You start with herbal knowledge. You don't need Apply Poultice. And I think herbal knowledge is a lot better.
Let's go look at herbal knowledge then. Okay, just look at it. This is why I'm trying to do everything by class, because it matters on what other things you're going to use and what other, that kind of stuff, right? So,
and they're different skills, but if something's got to go.
So that's a good point, though. That's a good point. You already start with herbal knowledge, so maybe this is down there. But let's look at herbal knowledge real quick. We just got to look at it real quick. Not a big deal. I have it right here.
So it scales differently. It scales your dodge as opposed to the actual healing.
Yeah, I really like this a lot, actually. I use herbal knowledge a lot on my Ranger. It costs the same amount.
It scales the healing as well, but not that much, because
it doesn't scale the same way.
But it also increases dodge, right? Which is like
percentage, but here it increases dodge, which you can mitigate 100% of the damage.
So you've now been outvoted, Bob, that it's a C, but it's not a big deal.
That's fine.
We might put it down back to
You can
D.
make your tier list with no Ds if you want. But
That's
I'm saying
true.
if something has to be the worst.
It could be at the end of C. It could be the last C one, right?
I know we all like our skills.
We could put it in D. We'll think about that. Okay, so Apply Poultice is C. So herbal knowledge is OP according to Doc, and he won season 1. So herbal knowledge, should that be an S tier thing because you get healing and dodge?
In order to apply Poultice, you're going to have to find it, learn it, and then load it instead of herbal knowledge. And I just don't know when I'm ever going to do that.
It, right? Yeah.
I'm never going to do that. Therefore, it's a D to me.
Okay, that's a really, really good point. Okay, very good point. I kind of agree with that. Herbal knowledge is OP because you have it already, right? You don't even have to find it or buy it.
I mean,
And
yeah, but we're not grading based on that. I mean,
right.
I think the text on it is quite good as well.
I really like it a lot. I use it a lot because dodge to me is huge. And also like you know, when you're dealing with a ranger, they don't have as much dodge as like a mage does. And a ranger, I need to dodge a lot because my ranger gets its butt kicked sometimes.
Yeah, I don't think herbal knowledge is as good, not nearly as good as it was last season. A lot of the strength of it was it cost 2 skills points,
Right.
and now it costs twice as much. But it does do more. It does scale well in the late game. I have it at a B.
Oh, you have it as a B. What do you think, Kung Fu?
I agree.
So you think it's a B?
It's good end game if you have a bunch of wisdom. It is good in the early game. Maybe in the mid game,
You have to consider what secondary stat you're going to increase, right?
Yeah.
In Ranger, Warrior, Mage.
Very
Doc,
important.
what do you think? You think it's an S tier? Is that what you're saying? So if you max quickness on Warrior, there goes tier list the tier list too. You know, yeah, it depends.
Yeah, so I mean, this is kind of out of the context of the tier list, but in terms of leveling up, you know, I think everybody's doing main stat first. It was good last season. It's better this season. I'm personally a quickness maxi. I have been basically since the first time I got on and started talking about this game, and I think that aged well. And I think it's better this season than it was last season. So then I'm just sprinkling a couple points between charisma.
Doc says it's OP,
and
but it's not an S. Okay, Doc. Well, you need to be very specific when you say
he was being hyperbolic. He was being hyperbolic.
Doc, I'm gonna dunk your head in a bucket of water and apples, and you're gonna have to bob for the apple because, like, dude, we're at the county fair right now, and you're being silly. If you say something's OP, what is that saying? Like it's the GOAT? Is also the greatest of all time, but it's also not S tier. All right. Tell us what tier. If you're going to give us
at the beginning. At the beginning.
So we're saying that it's B tier. All right. So
I'm saying B, and
B. I agree with B.
What was I talking about? So I'm saying you're not going to have that many points for something like wisdom or like your secondary
probably
stat.
not a huge
because amount. Unless you're not going the quickness route.
Katrino says B also. Doc won't tell us. I have to give Doc a hard time because he won season 1. And he knows he's the knowledge guy. He knows.
If you have pocket sound, you can not go to the quickness route.
I do have pocket sand on my ranger.
So if you have pocket sound, in my opinion, there are 2 options: go for strength or go for wisdom.
At least B. I think we have it in the right spot. Okay, what I mean is that if skill A is the best, it needs quickness. Skill C that is in 4th place is actually not in 4th place, but 2nd B. Okay.
Oh.
People are already saying the stream's taking forever, and we're getting like these paragraphs of Old English. Okay.
All right, so we got that at B. We got, I think, apply poultice at D. Not going to fight anybody over it. And then next is going to be mental knit, right, with the wizard, just to get the healing stuff done.
Yeah. Let's look at mental knit. Thank you. Yeah. I try to go as fast as I can, guys, but we also really need to know what the real knowledge is, right? We don't want to just
Hey, it's all speculative. I've cast herbal knowledge, but I haven't used the other skills. I'm just based on the text on the card, doing the best we can.
Some people want us to go in very big detail. Some people want us to go fast. It is what it is. We'll go a little bit faster. So
we can speed up.
Yeah.
The only difference here is that it takes 5 skill points for 1 use, and it uses the same ratio of wisdom, the same scaling, but this is the primary stat for the
wisdom is your primary stat. It's going to heal you.
So you're going to have a lot of wisdom.
Man, if this was a 4, it'd definitely be S tier for me, but it's 5 points, so I don't know. Is it in A tier maybe?
I think A.
I'm on a B just because I think it has a lot of the same. I think the 5 points compared to 4 is pricing in a lot of the advantage you get by being wisdom as the main stat. Not all of it, but I think it's B. I think it's worse than the warrior, but way better than the ranger.
I got go wisdom on ranger. So, in the chat, it really is helpful if you give me like a tier list and like letter, because you could be like it's the greatest ever, but then say it's a C. That's what we got from Doc so far. He's like it's way OP, but it's a B, and it's what he said. Okay, so is LeBron James the greatest of all time? But you're like, yeah, he is, but he's also ranked 8th all time. Like, okay, like how? What, bro? That's not what greatest of all time means. Okay,
Paltus.
Okay. Causes sly evasion when everyone goes up to. That's what I mean, because sly evasion. Okay, so he thinks herbal knowledge and goes up because of sly evasion. Well, maybe we can get to that when we get to sly evasion. We'll go through that. Okay, so right now we have it here. I think it could be A tier maybe, but let's maybe because of the higher skill number, maybe it's B tier. It's harder to get the skills in there when they're a 5 versus a 4 to fit them all in.
I think it's good like that.
You think it's okay? Okay. We're going to go with that for now. It might be A, though. I kind of like that one on my mage. I like healing on my mage. But mage has a lot. Actually, mage did have a lot of really good skills last time. I don't know if they still do. So if they have a lot of other good skills, it would push it down a little bit because you need to use your skills on the better ones, right? So
breaking news from the Discord. There is no S in Paltus. Paltus. There's no S. It's not a poultice. It's a
poultice. It's not.
I was saying it wrong.
Bob, thank you so much for going in the Discord and paying attention there. I tried to jump back and forth and get the Discord feedback too. That's you're
familiar with that word,
Bob. You're becoming A tier level streamer. Okay, you're in the Discord. You're everywhere. Kung Fu, are you in a hotel lobby right now? So
no, I'm back from vacation.
You're back from vacation. Where are you now? Are you in Bulgaria? Where are you?
Yeah, Sofia, Bulgaria.
Sofia, Bulgaria? Is there an S in that?
Sofia, yeah, the capital.
Sofia. It's the capital. Oh, I should have known that. I have a lot of friends from Bulgaria that I haven't talked to in 20 years. I have no idea where they are. I wish I did. Febzi, if you're out there, you're probably in the army or something, but I hope you're doing well. He's a great filmmaker. So he escaped Bulgaria to come here to be a filmmaker and didn't join the army yet. So he might be on the run. Maybe he's like under the radar because he doesn't want to go in the army, right? So don't find Febzi because he's making movies somewhere. All right. So anyways, now we're going to go, we did those. Okay. So now let's go back, I guess, to the warrior skills again, right? And go to the next one we haven't done. Which one did we not do yet? We didn't do. Okay. So we were on, we didn't do rending blow, right? We didn't do that one yet. No.
Correct.
We're going to do that now.
Yep.
We're going to bring that up real quick. I have to press so many buttons in this. There it is. Thank you, StreamYard. Okay, Rending Blow. It deals 1 dice to 10, and then it adds Wisdom and Agility together, divided by 13.
Yep, here's our...
So I think this is part of the reason... Problem. This is part of the reason, though, that people like the Wisdom stuff for the Ranger, because there's a lot of Wisdom involved in the Ranger skills, it seems like.
The damage part is not that great, like 10 damage.
Yeah, that was never the appeal season 1, and
this is an S tier, isn't it?
This was an S tier, but now it costs 6 points to use.
Does that make it A tier?
I think A. I love that it lasts until end of combat. I think it's a great boss killer.
We're gonna make it the best A tier one.
Like A plus, maybe A plus, but we can place it in the A tier.
At 6 points, I don't think you want to load too many of these. Like last season, I just loaded a bunch of them because they cost the same as Chop, so there was no reason to mix it up. And I think there is reason.
Okay, let me zoom in more now.
There you go.
Wait, how did that happen? This is crazy because okay. Can you actually see it now?
No, that's pretty good.
Oh, okay, now maybe we can just use the screen now. Okay, so Rending Blow we have is the top A tier. It could almost be S tier maybe-ish. It's like in between maybe.
Yep.
So only because of the high skill points. So that's good. Do we need? That's pretty much all it is, though. We know it's really, really good.
It's a debuff. You really want it basically turn 1 in your boss fights.
You want to use it right away.
Yeah.
Do I have this on my warrior? That's the only thing I need to worry about. Do I have it on my warrior right now? I'm gonna go look and see.
And I don't think you want to be putting any points in wisdom or agility like to make this better because it just doesn't matter that much. I mean, you're going to get some boost based on your gear. To do the math, you're going to have maybe towards the end you have like 25 or so wisdom plus agility, and that'll be like an extra 2 points. 25 divided by 13 with this math is going to do 2 points since it rounds. So we're talking a D10 plus 2 is 6.5 points. Who cares?
It looks like the floor on Rending Blow is $38 right now.
It's a good one. But yeah, it's just the end of combat debuff, reduce the mitigation proc chance by 15. I believe that's what it says.
Yes.
So yeah, that's not it's not flat like all of these percentages. It's going to be based on, so like if Abaddon has a 50% mitigation proc chance, it's going to be 15% of that, aka 7.5. So it's not a huge difference, but it definitely matters in a 10-turn fight a lot.
Yeah, in prolonged fights with some mini bosses, chonkers even.
Right. Okay. So I don't own
And this
Blow.
skill fits in all builds, all warrior builds, because
Exactly.
the main part is this 15% reduces of mitigation chance, and you don't need agility, wisdom, charisma. It just works until the end of the combat.
This is
Good
great.
skill.
This is really great. You know why this is great? I'm gonna find a way to get this.
And this is a level 4 skill, so we're going to be kind of farming those now, and then not farming them as much in the end of the season.
I feel like I'm
like
gonna
last
find
time.
this from one of
I
my.
got one. I got one the first day.
Nice. I got one for one of the skills for a Twitter giveaway.
You
That
know
was
what? I have a skill book in my inventory, but I haven't like identified it yet. So I need to do that today. You just need one running build, but you need it decent.
Yeah.
You need it's decent. You need it. It's decent. Dakota. What is this English? Okay.
It's-
So, but I have a bunch of warriors. I don't just have one, bro. I have an army of warriors. So I need some rending blow. All right. That's how I'm gonna like win this season and get in all the top 10s. So that one is definitely like super high. Everyone should go and buy a rending blow right now. Let's go down to the next one and look at what we got here. So we haven't done run like the wind, which is flee. Like we should probably just do the flee ones all together, maybe. And like, what do you think the tier is for a guaranteed flee in the next round and 8 points? It's something that's really good and have in your back pocket for like a boss fight, right? Like if because you don't want to die on the boss, you just can have it there just in case. Unless you have your quickness super high, but the boss's quickness is like 100, right?
It's 40 for the boss of the game.
It was. We don't know.
It was.
This
It was
season,
40.
but yeah. So if you don't go the quickness route, I think it's a must because you need to escape.
So is it A tier then, you think?
I think it's not S tier because of the increased points.
Because of the stats, yeah.
But A tier definitely. And I think warriors, they need this more than any other class, the flee.
I mean, if it was less points, I would say it's definitely S tier. I'm really tempted to make it S tier just because, like, and then I know they nerfed it. It's guaranteed flee next round, and I complained a lot in the Discord. I was like, "You ruined flee," because like the whole point is that we need some skills to actually be kind of OP. Like you need that in games. Otherwise, if you don't have things that are obviously really good, people don't buy anything, and they don't have any commerce, and then nothing will sell, and then you know what I mean. Like I want there to be a thriving economy, and you want the skills to really impact the game somehow. They're thinking they don't want the game to be like pay to play. They're like, you should be able to play and have just as good of a shot, even if you don't have the skills. But the thing is that you're finding skills too. So like you can sell the other skills you have to get the skills you want, whatever it is. But the problem is that if the skills are too bland, then nobody buys skills anyways. So that's my point, is that like I'm trying to make smart opinions. Okay. I'm trying to be smart. So
all right. So
I don't think it's S because they're very nice warrior builds with wisdom and charisma, but for that to execute that you need to run like the wind because you're not putting points in quickness. Necessary for the warrior because there is another build for warrior which scales really nice with quickness. And if you're putting points in quickness, you don't need run like the wind.
Right. You don't really need it if you have a huge amount of quickness, right? Because it's kind of similar-ish. Because if you have super amount of quickness, you have a high rate of flee. But this is the thing. Do you see how often people are dying right now? Like imagine later in the game. You know what I mean? Like between now and when the game's end, if you've died 6 times, you've lost an insane amount of quests. Like, oh my God. If you can have a skill like this just to avoid dying, that is really huge.
Okay. This may be my, I don't know, heel turn or whatever. I think all the fleas are unplayable. I think if you build your hero from scratch to ignore quickness, then it becomes a begrudging, like just necessary thing to make that build at all viable. And I don't think you should do that this season. I think that was completely viable last season with the way it worked. Kung Fu showed us that. He showed us a very good warrior that did that. I think if we're basically looking at this from scratch, this isn't a nerf. This is a nuclear bomb going off on the flea skills.
I told JB that. That's what I said.
They tripled the cost, and they no longer do what you want them to do.
Please give that quote to JB how he put a nuclear bomb on the flea skill. And I tried to even offer him cookies to make it better. I was trying to be nice to him.
So the only if I really wrap my head around it and come up with a way to use this skill, which I never will, you can do it. But in my opinion, if you have to jump through that many hoops, or you have to build your guy suboptimally to make it good, or not even good, but like worth 8 points, I think that makes it a D tier. Like I said, you could build away it, but I think they're just. I think people have too much bias based on last season. They don't do what they did last season. So if you're looking at this fresh, it's just a million skill points. It doesn't even do what you want it to do.
Okay. If you go with quickness, it is D tier. If you don't go with quickness, it is at least B, because for zone 4
it's just
and
a
5,
necessary evil at that point.
Yeah. But that's the thing. You have to guys understand. This is what you really have to understand. The vast majority of people that play this game are not going to do all the things you think they're going to do. They're not going to put everything into quickness and do all this stuff. They're going to just play the game. They might not even watch this stream. They don't even know. They're just going to do what they do. Or they might do some guys with quickness and some guys without. What if they do different kinds of builds? You know what I mean? So that's another thing to consider.
So Kung Fu, let's walk me through how this works with a no quickness build against the late game bosses based on what we know. So like we're going to load one of these or two of these, and we're going to use
only one of these,
okay,
just in case, because
when you say
it's overkill.
Okay, so when you say just in case, do you mean just in case they have the deadly modifier, or just in case the battle is going badly and we're going to die?
They're not having personalities. The personalities are removed from the bosses. They're like regular now.
So it's just if you're going to die, yeah.
So that's new information. That was not in the patch.
They will not have minus 30% chance to hit.
I saw them listed.
Well,
I don't know if it's in the official.
So in that case, we're using Run Like the Wind if the fight goes badly.
Yes.
And we need to.
Which definitely happened. I mean, a lot of people couldn't beat the boss.
So that's what I mean by it doesn't even, despite the 3 times cost, it doesn't even do what you really want, which is the old one lets you take a lot of risks in the fight in terms of taking fights you wouldn't normally, because you can see. But this one, if you get down low enough, like 50 health or less, and then you get hit hard
on that one,
you still can't even get away until the next
we're
turn.
Gonna put
You're
this
still at risk.
C list here, I guess. To go in between. It could be B list here for people. It could be B.
I'm not. I'm flooding my own bags here. I have 2 of these skills. It's not like I don't own it and I'm just like mad at it. I'm not. I have it, and I will never load it. I don't think I'll ever load it. I don't think it does anything, and it costs 3 times as much. Don't know.
Can you just in the Discord tag JB and say you ruined Flea and like you're terrible? Thank you.
It's just nuked.
I have a warrior, that warrior from last season that I played. Now I learned Second Wind. It was the last skill slot that I had. I have the basic skills: Second Wind, Rending Blow, Run Like the Wind, and Thunderous Bellow. These are the ones that I'm going to use. I'm going to level strength. I'm going to level and spread the rest between charisma and wisdom. I'm going to use heal. So for the last boss fight, I will have probably 1 or 2 uses of Thunderous Bellow, 1 use of Rending Blow, 1 or 2 uses of Second Wind, one use of Run Like the Wind.
So that's going to be really tough in zone 4 and 5, though, isn't it? Like with these, when you're getting level 17s in zone 4, and getting these level 21 vampires that do get modifiers, like we're gonna have a huge
Yeah,
problem with that build,
They
right?
may be stronger than the boss itself.
Like that was the great thing about the last run with the wind is that for 3 points, like you're replacing an overhand chop. This one is just it's just so this is the only real change to a skill that really I think I just completely disagree with. I think it just was way too far. I think it went from the best to the worst, personally.
Another person said in the comments that they got Run Like the Wind and they love that one. So it went from the best to the worst, you think?
In my opinion.
Instead of sending JB cookies, I'm going to send him probably like a horse head or something, like the guy.
Apparently, I'm the only one who recognizes the D tier. Everybody gets a participation medal in you guys' lists. I'm at get out of here, pal.
Look, I'm trying to get people to
get
buy
out of here
skills,
skill.
Okay, I'm trying to get them on open scene to purchase these.
Get them to buy the good ones.
And Bob doesn't want anyone to get skills. He's like, don't get any.
Season 3. I still have Run with the Wind. I'm not going to delete it from my warrior. God knows.
No.
Eventually, they're going to realize they nuked it, and we're going to meet somewhere in the middle.
I'm going to put it in Well, this is the thing. In the first season...
Well, for the Charisma Maxis, it is useful. You can go Charisma for a warrior. You can
build around it. I just think
mage.
Let's
leave it in C. It's not that trash. Like absolutely not good.
So let's do the other ones real quick then. So we kind of talk about like the
Let's go with the fleece. All the fleece.
Let's do where is the range? Pocket Sand. There's Pocket Sand. So Pocket Sand is literally the same thing, right? It's 8 and 4.
I think it's worse, but yeah.
It's why do you think it's worse?
Rangers get bonuses to their quickness. Rangers, I mean, you could build it without quickness, but I don't think you should. Right? I don't know why you would build a Ranger without quickness. I suppose you could to be cute. I don't think you should.
Did you do the math?
So the D list here. Can I edit this? I'm gonna edit this and be cute.
Okay.
That's this tier.
Did you do the math for Insidious Distraction? If you have 50 quickness, how much damage are you going to do now?
Hold on. We need to just do these things again.
Okay, if we have 60 quickness, it will be 10 bonus damage. So it will be from 12 to 22, right?
7 plus 10 on 60, so it'd be 17 damage for 6 points. It's a lot worse.
Okay, and you have 6 points per use.
Yes.
So you have 4 uses. 4 uses of average like 15, let's say. It's not going to do even half the damage that it used to do. Like before, you could do like 100 damage. Now you can do like 50.
It's season 1 Insidious Distraction is goated. It's the greatest of all time skill. It's probably, unless they screw something up, it'll be the best skill that's ever existed, in my opinion.
I want to just get
Bellow is up there too.
I want to go quickly.
And give me one reason, if you're not using Insidious Distraction, why would you go with quickness? Which other skill for the Ranger scales
to run from level 17 monkeys that are about to kill me? To get there, basically to get there efficiently and be able to flee from the really hard mobs. Because if you don't have it, you can't do it reliably.
Yeah, but if you have Pocket Sand, I bought today Pocket Sand for $20. Somebody decided it's total trash.
Well, it wasn't me, but I agree with them. But it's fine. We're gonna see what happens. I don't know.
So I don't
this
like
is my speculation.
I don't like that the Ranger doesn't have another skill that scales with quickness, except Insidious Distraction. I don't like it. If there was one other skill, it doesn't matter which one, just to scale with quickness, I would like it. I would say that it's viable, and I'm more inclined to go. I have a Ranger on the stream. I do. It's not a stream like recorded video. I have a Mythic Ranger from last season, and I'm going to spec it when I level up agility, and the rest is going to be strength and wisdom. Yes.
I understand. Yep, I get it. I'm just a quickness maximus.
Because
I want quickness on all my heroes.
you have 2 paths. If you don't, and I have like 6 skills with that ranger. That's why I'm going that way. But if you need to have, you don't need to have 6 skills. If you want to go agility and strength, you buy or learn
Are you
improvise
trying
trap.
to make an argument for Pocket Sand to not be D? Is that what you're trying to do?
I'm saying that pocket sand is not trash for the ranger. It's at least C.
It's at least
because I see much more viable builds with agility and wisdom and agility and strength
Doc just agreed with
than
you.
with agility and quickness.
Doc just said that his ranger is going to be a wisdom build.
Yes.
No, he's agreeing with him.
Because you have sly evasion, you have apply poultice, which you may not use, but you have herbal knowledge, sly evasion, which synergize really nice, and adhesive application or whatever it's read. It scales really nice with wisdom because it reduces monster dodge.
So
by wisdom multiplied by 2.
This is what I need.
So if you have
guys,
40,
I need a letter.
So I have adhesive,
especially in the comments.
Adhesive application, and I think with my ranger I can do probably like 8% reduce of monster dodge. I will have 40 wisdom for 3 rounds.
I like wisdom
for 5 skill points, and Tat also agrees. Adhesive application is really nice. Please correct me if I'm
very good.
I'm pronouncing it wrongly because.
Doc says you're giving too much alpha that I have to kick you off the show. I did a poll if I should kick you off for giving too much alpha. Because you just tell us everything, which is great.
But if you don't have these skills, you can go with strength, improvised trap. It has very nice debuff.
Well, hold on. Look, we could give a huge soliloquy. You could be on stage like a Shakespeare for 4 hours. But like we can talk about those skills also as they come up. We need to have a ranking, and we need letters, like people in the comments, because half the people want to talk forever, and half the people are like, I can't stay on here for 4 hours to listen to everything. But you know what I mean? So we need to have a little bit of organization with that here. So you think that this is a C?
I think it's at least a C, maybe a B, but
okay. So Pocket Sand even
Bob
be like
thinks it's total trash, so I think it's fine.
Bob doesn't agree that non-wisdom or quickness builds are a great idea, and Bob might be wrong, but Bob wants to be able to run away from
you want
monsters in the peak that are going to kill me, or
quickness build for ranger.
Yeah, I agree that this wisdom build with adhesive application and all this stuff is awesome, but I don't know how you can get to the final boss efficiently without being able to run from the monsters, because
that's a good point.
The vampires and the monkeys and the bears and all this stuff.
It's like a heavyweight fight. This is like a heavyweight fight. We're trying to figure out like who's okay, what kind of stuff. And everyone's worried about giving out alpha with builds and stuff. That's my point, is that there's different ways to go and everyone has different opinions. Plus, it's how you use it. There's so much context. Okay, so this is great. Now let's talk about teleport. What do you guys think? Teleport's a level 7 skill, but it takes 7 points instead of 8, so it's actually less skill points for the mage. And
I will agree that quickness is better on the mage than the ranger. Therefore, I think pocket sand might be better than teleport.
Right.
So, but I have them both in D. I have teleport.
You have both of them in D. But what about you, Kung Fu? Do you think teleport is like a C, a D, or is it an A+? What do you think?
I think the mage has really nice build with quickness. So and it is not that expensive. You need a couple of skills. But I think because of the lower use skill points per use, probably it's against C for me. I think there will be mages that would like to go with maybe agility and charisma.
Do you think?
I mean, this is just kind of a strategy thing at this point, right? It's just a strategy of how important quickness is that we're kind of disagreeing on.
Should this be low end C tier? Should it be D tier? Can you give me a letter, Kung Fu? Of what you in the chat?
I think C.
And so, Bob, you think it's a D tier?
I think it's whatever the lowest tier is, poop tier.
So for this one, I'm giving Bob extra powers because we've
I'll
gone.
never call it poop tier. Yep, poop emoji.
This is to be cute tier, Bob, and we could change.
Oh, well, I haven't gotten 1 in D yet, so you're giving me this one.
I'm trying to be a referee. Dakota, okay, mages is late game, and also this is a late game thing anyway.
I don't know. You're comparing grapple with teleport, and grapple is a starting skill, and it's in C.
It's bad.
I don't know.
It does something. I would load grapple a lot more than I would load a teleport.
Yeah, I also used teleport 3 times last season with my warrior, but it was important.
You teleport for your warrior? How's that possible?
Oh, no, I mean...
Well, unfortunately, this season you can run next turn, and hopefully you don't die in the interim.
Okay, for right now, we're just putting teleport in D so we can have something in a to be cute category, okay? Now we're going to go... Now we're going to move on, and Doc says he doesn't even know what mages are. He's like, well, there's a mage in the game. I wasn't really aware of that. Okay, so Blade Form Parry is the next one. I own this thing, and I use it a bunch. It increases your chance to parry by strength and quickness. So if you're doing a quickness build for your warrior, there you go. And for 3 rounds. This is for the pro quickness warriors, right?
Wait, which one?
Yes.
Blade Form Parry. I have it up on the screen, right? Don't I? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Blade Form Parry is awesome.
You can easily reach in the end game the same percent of parry as like 400%.
Not letting me do the super zoom I did before.
Right.
So I think it's S tier.
You flee in Blade Form Parry's S tier. It's increased chance of parry by the equation is the amount increases is strength and quickness together times 4 as a percentage for 3 rounds. So if you have really high strength and quickness, that's a high percentage. You're talking like 100%.
60 strength and 40 quickness.
Yeah,
you got it.
So we're talking about we want to get to 100% parry, and then we can parry
which
every
means
round.
you dodge every second attack.
Yep.
With parry.
Very good.
Equivalent.
Yeah, I think this is awesome. I don't have a lot of. I've never had one of these skills, but
me too.
I mean, based on the text, I think it's S tier. Maybe if I get the chance to play
this
it,
is what I used last season.
But I think
it a lot.
Yeah, I think quickness is awesome on warrior.
Yes,
you can pair this with another skill that we'll get to in a second, and I think it's very good.
Is anyone taking notes in the comments section down there? Who's watching the show and taking notes for like to get the takeaways here? I'm going to take a note.
They can rewatch it later. Why take notes?
Warrior. This is my job. I'm trying to take notes. Okay. Blade Form Parry is S tier. You have to trade all the parry items. Doc,
what does that mean?
I don't know. Doesn't matter, Doc. So that's S tier. I use that a lot to kick major butt with my warrior lash.
Yeah, and it's only 5 points, which is pretty cheap now, and it lasts for 3 rounds, which is good. Yeah, I think it's just great.
I like quickness, man. I might do this thing where like some of my guys I go super quickness and some of them I do like high wisdom or something, right? Like split it up. That's why it's great to have a lot of heroes, right? Okay. That's the big takeaways from this. You know, they always say have a takeaway. The takeaways from this is have a lot of heroes because then you can do this kind of decision making and pick and choose, see which one works better. And then also the other thing is that like you kind of have to pick for your hero which way you're going to go, like a quickness build or like an agility build or a wisdom build, right? And then the skills can kind of fit into that build. Okay. So we're on Berserk now, and I have Berserk. I didn't put it on my warrior last season, but I owned it, but I didn't learn it or do anything with it. It just sat there because I could have like sold it or whatever. But now people saying that they like it a lot.
Yeah, I think this gets most improved for sure. I think this was probably one of the. I think it was D tier last season.
Plus, it's got beautiful artwork. He's just
you want to
super
let's go through
it. Like,
So the specifics are on Berserkers. It costs 4, which is nice.
Yep.
It lasts for 3 rounds, which is nice. You get bonus damage. Okay, so the way it's worded, it's not your total damage. It's your bonus damage, which is what you're adding to your dice rolls. It gets 75%. Whereas last time, I think it was 60%. So it's actually got buffed because everybody hated on it.
It got buffed.
So you get
the negative aspect of it
is
got
a lot better too. Yeah, it got buffed a lot. I'm at an A tier for this. I think it's excellent.
I agree.
So bonus damage plus 75% plus 1 flat. So if you're towards the end game and you have like a 20 to 30 kind of damage range, and some of that is a lot of that is going to be your bonus damage.
Yeah,
Is going to
maybe
be
like
at least like
You
20
can
of
have
it.
like 7, 8,
Yeah.
like
And then
7,
yeah,
8, 10,
7, 8,
depending
9.
on gear, because there was a lot of gear that gives bonus
and
damage.
yep, that type of gear becomes really good because you get 75% of it plus 1.
You're
And that's
nearly
just a
doubling
huge
your
buff for
bonus
3
damage.
rounds, and it's
Right.
affordable. And like you said, if you're going quickness for your blade form parry, which is a pretty great idea anyways, you can mitigate most of your downside. So I think it's good. I bought one for $20 the other day. Happy about that.
So the second part, decrease hero armor mitigation chance by 30% minus your quickness divided by 5.
That's your
So you-
debuff. Yep.
So if
Yes.
you have really high quickness, and then it negates that a little bit.
Yes.
So
Yeah, you can until 20-ish% like
so
negate it.
quickness for warrior is like a big thing now. It looks like it's pretty big. So
On some builds, yep.
yeah, on some builds, right? I'm going to definitely do at least one of them because I have a warrior army. All right.
Yeah, when I mentioned that I'm going with wisdom with my warrior, it was because I already have learned all the skills for that build. And,
Right.
But I personally think that the quickness path is better.
Well, there you go. Kung Fu is doing the least good thing, which I give him a lot of credit for. You're going to try to truck it out with the skills that you have, all right? Or you could just go and buy all the cool skills.
I'm looking forward to trying Berserk.
Or you can buy another hero and try the different build.
That's true. So that's the thing.
I do think it's A instead of S, but
what do you think it's A? Sorry.
No, the other way.
What do you think? What do you think?
Berserk is A and Blade Form Parry is...
Oh, I messed that up. So you guys think this is A, but is it like a high A? Is it like up here?
If you have the Blade Form Parry, I think it's really good in combination. If you don't have Blade Form Parry, it might be high B, low A. But
we
can't really contextualize all that much.
So
I think it's good.
This is the thing I'm looking at here. We have rendering blow, which is A, which is great, but it does wisdom here, right? If you're going, but the thing is, because we have an S tier that's quickness, it pushes this one kind of up because then the more people are going to maybe want to do the quickness combined. So I'm just doing that. Okay, not a big deal. Like, you know, those are kind of like splitting hairs a little bit type situation, right? Whereas like it could go either way. It's not a big deal. So now let's go down to the next one, and it's Thunderous Bellow. And in fact, let me bring it up because you really need to see the bellow like really up close. You need to see it. All right. You need to see this Thunderous Bellow. I kind of wish Grady was here because he loves these super deep dives, but he's on a boat somewhere. Thunderous Bellow with 2 L's. This guy is screaming. These last couple remind me a lot of Dragon Ball Z, right? Like the and the pumping up
when
stuff.
they get their power up.
Their power ups. Now he's shouting. It's like, you know, it's like in Dragon Ball Z. Sometimes they shoot stuff out of their mouth. Anyways. Reduces monsters parry and dodge. So you're reducing 2 things, not just one, the parry and the dodge by strength and wisdom. And then divided by 1.5.
So the math on that is basically it's 2/3 of your strength plus wisdom.
Right. That's great.
That's how dividing by 1.5
does. Right. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. That makes a lot help.
So is it achievable to reach 50%? How much if we have 50 strength, how much wisdom do we need to achieve 50%? Because this was the original
you would
value.
need 25 wisdom, because then you'd be at 2/3 of 75 combined would be that 50.
So yeah, it is doable, but you need to go to the wisdom road, and this is only for the debuff that lasts for 2 rounds. But the most important part is that the constant effect got nerfed a lot.
Yeah, it was now 2/3 of your charisma instead of 1. So
it was 100% before that.
So it's definitely worse. I think it's still good.
It increases your parry also.
I like that it is not. If it was 6 skill points to use, it would be even worse. But now at 5, which is kind of like an average.
So, and this goes to the end of combat.
It is still viable.
So this is something you can start at the beginning of the combat and last the whole combat.
Yeah, I think this is something you kind of build your character around more so than a lot of the other stuff, is that you really want a lot of charisma, or it doesn't do that much. I don't know how many points you're going to be putting into wisdom. You're just looking for gear.
Strength and splitting the rest into charisma and wisdom.
Okay.
So this is a B tier for you guys, or A? What do you think?
I think I like B.
I like B as well.
It kind of goes along with Rendering Blow a bit because it has the wisdom and stuff.
I think it's worse than Rendering Blow, though.
I'm just telling you. I'm just saying though, it goes along with other stuff. Like so, if
Rendering Blow goes well with any build that you want to do.
And, you have to build really hard.
Really specific towards. You need to build towards to make it work.
All right, so we're putting Thunderous Blow up in B tier.
But I would not be surprised if there is a warrior that built towards this and was extremely effective. Do
you think this is better than Overhand Chop?
Yes.
So let's put it up there.
That looks good.
Okay, great. Let's go to the next one. Riposte, which is, I think we're now going into the old Ranger, the ones with the bows and arrows and stuff. And
that's warrior.
Was that warrior? No, it is warrior. You're right. Sorry about that. Okay, let me bring it up here. So this is what this one does. It increases your hero's crit by 65%. So it's offense, right? And agility divided by 2 for 2 rounds. Increase hero's parry by 50%. Strength divided by 2. So that first one is not going to be great. People aren't going to probably put a ton of agility into their warrior, right?
Yeah, I don't think this one's very good.
Increases your hero by 50% plus strength divided by 2. So there's a parry munch there, but if you care about parry, you could do another one that has parry in it.
I think this is my candidate for the D tier.
It's your turn to go D tier. Bob, what's your opinion?
I was going to go C, but I'm not opposed to it.
Wow, you guys are flipping it up now. He says C tier.
It's 15 level skill. And only 2 rounds. If it was 3 rounds,
the 2 rounds is
fine.
rough.
Like Brave Form
it's
Parry.
15 level for 2 rounds. You're right. It's like a snotty elitist one to be cute.
And it increases your critical chance.
It's like a bad version of Blade Form Parry. You can get a lot of parry going, but it's for less rounds.
So it's like this, but not as good.
Yeah, you don't get it through the mid game. I mean, I think you can load this and have it be good against the final boss. You can load like 2 of these.
It's even worse than teleport. Okay.
But I don't think it's D. I think if you have this skill, I think it is worth loading on a lot of builds that can beat the boss. It's not going to be the optimal builds, I think we're in agreement. But I think not every hero is going to be optimal.
That's why that tier is called just to be cute, because maybe there's some situation you could use it for, possibly. But
that's how I feel about the ones I put there.
Great, I'm glad.
But I think Riposte is a little bit. I don't think it's that cute. I think it's just not the best thing you can be doing. It's just.
Oops, what did I just do?
But I think your hero gets a lot better if you learn Riposte as opposed to getting in there with chops and grapples. Personally.
Okay.
And if I didn't think that, I would put it at D. That's kind of how I view it.
So
if
you have
Blade that's why
Form
you think it should
Parry,
be.
If you have Blade Form Parry, you don't need Riposte, right?
Doc says it's
100% agreed. But
fine.
If you have the best skills in the game and as many as you want, there's a lot of skills that don't matter and are all D tier.
Doc says C. We'll think about putting Riposte in D. I don't know. Kung Fu, how strongly do you feel it should be in D? Are you there, Kung Fu?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm thinking.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
If we go D, can I get Pocket Sand or Run with the Wind down there with me?
See, that's
can we negotiate?
Okay,
because I'm okay with that trade.
Let's put Run Like the Wind and Riposte in D. Run Like the Wind.
We made a deal.
Run Like the Wind's also D, and then Riposte is D.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think the best build for the warrior, if you have the skills, is with quickness.
Very good, very good. All right, so now we're on Mastered Blow. And it looks like you just hit a shield, right? Like, so it's just about strength of hitting.
Yeah, this is literally what Insidious Distraction was last turn, except you have your main stat instead of quickness.
Right.
So, and it costs 3 more skill points.
Yeah, it's more expensive.
So, And we're going to get to Insidious Distraction, which costs 6, but is quickness, which is not a main stat.
Right.
So I think those two are kind of similar. I guess tipping my hand. I think they're bad. I would be okay with a D. I'm okay with a C.
So you might not go
that.
after this on OpenSea, but if you have you might.
I think it's worth learning. I think you would rather have this. The ability to load this towards the end of the game as opposed to overhand chops and grapples is helpful, but it's not what you want to be doing with your warrior.
So what do you guys think? It's a C tier then? A B tier? What do you think? High C tier?
I don't know. It's really low damage.
It's better than last time.
Yeah, but it also costs more. It was like 5 points.
So
if you're a warrior, you can get 3 of those, let's say, and you do like 50 damage again with 3 skills, and you have like maybe from 6 to 8 points to distribute to other skills. Like you'll be able to use one blade for parry or one of something. Like you cannot use even 2 more skills because there is not a skill that costs 3.
Dude, Doc, you said repost is I swear to God.
I think what you would want to do with Mastered Blow is load up 4 of them at the end game to try to kill the boss as basically a bad version of Season 1 Insidious. Because if you can get to 65 strength on your warrior with a bunch of gear, that's 13 plus 2d6 is 20 damage. You can do it 4 times. That's basically 80 damage up top. That's about as good as you can do. You could do 120 last season, but that's last season, so there's no need to compare the two. And I don't think that's a great thing to do with your warrior, but you can do it.
Yeah, you said it right. I don't think this is the thing that
I put it ahead of Pocket Sand. It's C tier. Everybody, that's where they want it. Okay, we're going to the next one. That's a great job.
Okay.
Can we put Grapple ahead of Pocket Sand?
Yes.
Thank you.
I become at the end. I get more into the mode of like we'll move stuff around in the beginning.
I know. I'm trying to negotiate to get those 2 knocked off.
As much as I'm being abrasive, it's because I want this to feel like a heavyweight fight. Like we're fighting for what we really care about.
Let's
right?
Go.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm just trying to have the most fun we possibly can have. That's all I really actually care about.
So unfortunately, we're missing Thirst for Blood. So we don't know what it does. I don't know how good it'll be. I don't think it was that great last season, but we just don't know.
I have a guess for Thirst of Blood. I have speculation.
You have a guess for it?
It heals, right?
Yes.
So if the heal stays, probably it scales with wisdom.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All healing skills scale with wisdom.
Should I make just a draw on something and put it in there for like the ones we don't know and just guess and just like?
No, I didn't expect that there will be dramatic changes for some of the skills, but they were like.
Doc bought 3
for haste was gutted. Practically one of the effects was removed, and I at least expected something else to be added to haste.
We'll get to haste.
But it's
look, Kung Fu. We could do your soliloquies all day, or we could talk about Barb Projectile. Okay, and it's a B according to Doc. It's a B. And it gives you dealing 1 dice for 4, agility divided by 7. And this is for the ranger, and that's the main stat is agility, which is also for critical strike. Okay, so agility divided by 7 damage and deals an additional 1d4 damage per round for 2 rounds. So this is what you start out with as your ranger. You just get it to have. Everybody, please in the chat, give me your number, your letter ranking.
He's right. This is way better in the early game than the late game. I think towards the end it becomes more or less overland chop, but early it's better. I don't know how you grade that. I'm kind of at the top of C tier, better than overhand chop, but not super exciting.
Overhand chop's in B right now.
B.
Is it? Oh, I didn't put it there.
Right. You have it at overhand chop as a C. But we can move overhand chop if everyone thinks it should be C tier. We have a lot of C tiers. Okay, what? So Doc thinks it's a B.
It's
Of
definitely very good
early game.
Because
Right.
so the problem with this, as opposed to a skill we'll get to in a minute, is that it only scales the first part with your agility. So the second part falls off hard.
Yeah,
like in the end game, that D4 doesn't matter.
I think it's
But
high.
early
Yeah,
game is
but
good.
it's better than overhand chop.
I agree.
If it can deal the damage over time in prolonged fights.
I think it's better than overhand chop, and I
Do
think
you
they're
think?
both C.
Do you think they're both below herbal knowledge though? Like, yeah, I think no.
I don't know. I don't think it matters that much. I mean, everybody's going to be
Yeah, put
casting
it
this
in B
early.
tier and
Sure.
We'll put it low B tier for these two.
I think that's fine. I don't think the minutia of it doesn't really matter that much.
Yeah, okay, we'll do that. We'll keep we're keeping her moving now. That's what we're doing. Okay, let's go to our favorite of all time, our super duper favorite. Let me bring it up so everyone can see what the new improvised trap looks like. Okay. Where is it here? I need to get the improvised trap. There it is. Thank you. Improvised trap. We got it. So it is reduces armor's mitigation amount by 20%.
yeah,
But
it used to be 40 for the whole combat.
So okay, so for the whole combat, but now
plus
it's
2/3 of strength.
Yeah, plus 2/3 of strength. So
and the damage also scales with the primary stat, which is fine. Before that, it was like meh.
And it was bugged last season where you didn't get your 2 rounds of damage. So hopefully that's fixed. And
I have this.
That damage is actually pretty nice. Towards the end of the game, what's that? Like if you get to 50 agility, that's 7. That's like 15 damage.
Right.
That's that actually matters.
Yeah, but usually you would not use it for a damage.
Right.
You would use it for the debuff.
Yeah, but you get both in one.
Yeah.
Is this an A tier stat now or a skill?
I think it's pretty similar. Yeah, I think it's better than rending blow. Let's see.
Yeah,
that's what it's definitely better damage. So how much strength are you going to have on your rangers is the question. You can combine this with some other stuff to make strength matter.
I use this a lot on my ranger.
Yes, you can with another skill.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good.
We can put
I like it there.
Okay, good. Well, let's see what the audience says. Improvised trap is similar to rending blow, and that's where rending blow is. We put it right. Okay, look at us. We're going so quick. So we got that in there. I feel good about that. On my ranger, I use improvised trap a lot last time, but you're right. It was a little bit better for the mitigation last time, maybe at least in the beginning stages. And now, but it's cool. I like the fact that it now scales a little bit differently, and I can get some more damage with it. Because with my ranger, I want good damage. I want that damage to be hitting them.
And it only costs 5, which is nice. That's pretty cheap these days.
That actually is pretty true. So that's
and you would need 50 strength in order to get the same mitigation debuff, which is probably not going to happen. So we're looking at, instead of 40, we're looking at between 30 and 35 on most builds, probably, which is still pretty good. And then you get a bunch of damage. So I think it's good.
Yeah, the damage is going up and the defense is going down, which I really wish I had more defense for my ranger, but we'll figure that out as we go along. We can do another tier list in like a week when we've used some of this stuff maybe or whatever and figure out like, hey, I don't really think it's as good as I thought it was or whatever. Sly evasion, we have, it adds 5% and wisdom, 2/3 of wisdom, flat chance to dodge for 3 rounds. So that's like a decent amount of dodge.
It is. And this is one of the 2 skills that uses the term flat. Meaning that it is what that you think it means, as opposed to affecting
a little bit.
It is way more than the
way more than if it was percentage of your dodge. Yes.
Is this better than like second? This is definitely feels A tiers to me because you're like dodging a bunch.
5 points for 3 rounds of a great effect sounds pretty good to me.
I think it's the equivalent of blade form parry.
Oh, that's
that'd be S. No, that'd be
S. But you cannot reach that guaranteed dodge each turn.
Right.
You can go full and puff, right?
So If you can dodge every other turn, it's fine. But how much wisdom are you going to have?
Doc,
If we
give
have,
us a letter. We need, is it S tier or A tier?
I think it's A.
You think it's A? Okay.
It can synergize with herbal knowledge once you have the flat increased. For example, you have 20 flat dodge, and you get 20 more from sly evasion. You have bonus dodge, let's say 40%, and you get herbal knowledge. It all stacks, and you may have for, let's say, 2 turns, like 80% dodge.
Yeah, and that's massive. I mean, it's only 2 turns, so like the later fights take a long time. So, but it's 2 turns for the super dodge, 3 turns for this skill. I think it's high A, low S. I think it's excellent.
High A, low S. Okay, so I should put it like way up in the front, like like maybe even ahead of Berserk.
Yeah.
There we go.
I think Berserk is still very speculative. I think we can tell pretty easily this is going to be good.
Very
Once
good.
people start using it,
yeah,
we'll find out.
You guys are
because it was one of the cheapest skills on the market. I bought a few. I'm planning to use it.
Okay, so we put that up there, and now we're gonna go to the old dexterous hands. Here,
this one's for you, Gatrino.
Yeah, Gatrino, dexterous hands. You want to like sell some dexterous hands on the old market here?
What was the previous percentage? Like 40% critical increase?
It was like 60. So let me look. So the previous dexterous hands increase hero crit by 60 for 3 rounds, increase hero parry by 30 for 2 rounds. That was the old one. So I think it's better overall because the agility percentage is going to make up for that, and the parry lasts for another round. So I think it is slightly better in a vacuum. It still costs 3 points, which is the best thing you could say about Dexter's Hands, is that it costs 3 points.
I think it's the only skill that costs 3 points.
I think it is. Yeah, it is the only one now. So I think it's better than people think it is. But so you would build a strength ranger and try to combine this with, what's the other one?
Improvised trap and adhesive application.
Yeah. So I think that makes some sense. I think you could get some use out of this, but I don't think it's great. I think C.
C? I was going to put it in A.
Really?
Whoa.
Yeah.
I think the problem. Okay.
Because if you actually go with the strength build, you will have 40 strength, which is, I think this is better than riposte.
I agree.
It's 3 rounds. You can get much better with the agility. So if you have 50 agility, you have more than it was before. Before it was trash, but now it's 3 skill points. You can spam it every hard fight. You can receive some edge. Also, one of the not that many defensive skills that the ranger has, like sly evasion and dexterous hands.
I think the problem remains,
and it's really cheap on the market. so
he's telling you to go sweep it right now, Kung Fu.
I don't know. I'm not giving financial advice for anyone, but I think it's better than the previous season.
I think it was like the worst skill though last season.
Yeah, it was the worst. But now it seems all skills got worse. So and
it's true. And this one did not.
Buffed.
It's basically the same argument for Berserk. But the issue with Dexterous Hands, which was an issue last time, and it remains an issue, as opposed to Berserk giving you, I guess it is kind of the same issue, is that you only get your crit chance when you hit. So a lot of times you won't even get that chance if you're not hitting, and just increasing crit is just kind of bad, I think. So it does a lot of things. It's got a lot of text. It doesn't cost that much. I'd be fine with a B, but to me, this is like a bad version of Berserk in terms of improving from last season. But I don't know. Maybe we'll play with it. I have it on my best ranger. I hope it's great. but I don't think it is.
Okay, can we shake hands for B tier?
B tier. I agree.
It's B tier.
Like top B tier, in my opinion.
Wow. So it's way up here.
I'm good with B tier. I was kind of hasty with my C tier.
Look at this.
Had to stay on brand, be a tough grader.
Dexterous hands.
Play the heel.
Increase.
Your favorite skill sucks.
Your favorite skill.
That's my tag.
Everyone's yelling at you guys to go sweep the floor. This is why we're here. So
yeah,
sweep the floor. All right.
It's a good skill. Go get it.
So I need help with my ranger, definitely, but I have a couple skills already. Increase hero crit and for 3 rounds, increase hero parry for 3 rounds. That's and it's only 3 skill points.
And for 3 rounds. You can have a bunch of uses and use it every time when you get a chonker or something. And with other skills, with 5, you need to be really meticulous when to use it or not.
Yeah, I think this just got relatively better because everything else got worse.
Yes.
But I don't think it's great. So that's why I think I think B makes sense. I think Berserk has if we're doing this kind of speculative thing.
There's a stigma because it was bad last season, but it's pretty good now.
If you itemize and level up with strength, I think it's good. Because I think the guaranteed part is the defense.
Yeah.
Because you get boost of defense and you may not do damage, you may not do critical strike, or you may not hit at all.
Yep. Yeah, I'm off my C. I like B.
Awesome. Well, this is really wonderful. This is really, really wonderful. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Now we've got the old hero of season 1, Insidious Distraction. And let's really look at this one because
look what they did to my boy.
Look what they did to my boy. They
massacred my boy. How's it go? Yeah.
Where's my Insidious Distraction? Oops, it's not coming up. Hold on one second. What?
So let's do some math. Like if you have 15 base quickness, if you have 10 base quickness, the maximum, and if you always put 2 points in quickness at level, let's say 19 or 18, how much quickness are you going to have?
Well, I can tell you for a fact that
like
my level 19 ranger that beat Abaddon last season had 65 quickness. Therefore, he did 140 points of direct damage to Abaddon. And that was with some beefy skills because he died. And then my other guys that beat the game before him went back and transferred a bunch of agility items or quickness items onto him.
What's funny is when I first saw this skill, I was so confused as about what this meant. When it said quickness /6, I didn't realize like it was a formula. I was just like, huh? Like what is happening here? And I was so confused. And so I didn't buy it, and I should have just bought it and used it, but whatever.
Yeah, level 19.
So it does from, let's say, 13 to
I think 55
to
is a pretty good estimate.
Damage.
So 55 quickness or 50 quickness would be 17 damage. And
this is the maximum.
So I don't think we have the line available anymore to get to level 17 and spam this and try to beat the boss, which was kind of a line last season.
Right.
I don't think.
That's just not going to work. You would have to have I mean, this is hard to evaluate in a vacuum because however good direct damage skills are as a strategy is how good this is. And this is probably one of the less than average versions of it. So it seems like a C to me. It could end up that direct damage is still good and this ends up being a B, but I kind of doubt it.
And it's for a ranger who,
if it's really bad, it could end up a D. If just dealing damage is a bad strategy this season, it could end up a D.
But the Rangers need to deal damage, just like their whole build, right?
It seems the Dragon's Crossing team wants us not to use direct damage skills.
Yeah, they got hit hard.
Well, when he's no, let's take that back. J-Bo it doesn't want us to. Okay.
He seemed to take offense to the way people were fleeing from the boss and direct damaging him for 100 points.
First he was offended that we damaged the boss.
He was very offended.
Very offended. And he was very offended that we could flee. And he was offended that we were enjoying it and having a great time. And so the point of this game is suffering is basically what we took away. And then he also agreed with that statement. So we all know who to blame. Okay. So we should throw a party for JB, and the party should be like where there's no presents and no cake, and we just take it all away from him. Okay. So
I agree with Doc in the thing.
home.
I think the mage is the damage dealer.
Okay, so
I think it's a pretty bad. I think it's a mistake to go direct damage on a ranger. Like
really, okay.
So that has a C.
Rangers
could end up being a D.
Rangers trying to, even though Rangers' main stat is crit, we're trying to do more defense with the Ranger.
I think that's their best skills. Yeah,
this is a real interesting way to go.
Well, they have a different skill that's a much better direct damage skill.
Okay, so Insidious Distraction we're putting as a C.
What do you think, Kung Fu? C or D?
One of them doesn't matter.
C. Let's move on.
I don't like it. It's the only skill that scales with quickness, and quickness is something that
Rangers get quickness with their level.
Yeah, with level.
Really, the goal of JB is he wanted us to have to do an 8-hour video to even figure out what skills are decent. That was his goal.
See, distraction might end up being more of an important skill for me because I'm a quickness maxi apparently, and that might end up being a terrible strategy. But I don't care. It's what I think.
It's better than
if you already have the skill, you're going to use it.
I don't have it, but is it better than Pocket Sand? Do you think in your estimation?
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna put it next to Grapple because see how the Grapple's like, and then Insidious is like, what? Yeah, they're gonna be next to each other. They're looking at each other. So that's fun.
What's next?
Another one that's a fave. Let's go to the next one, which is the old application of adhesive, and that used to combo well with stuff, and let's see if it still does. Reduces monster.
It combos with everything because it combos with skills. It combos with basic attacks.
Well, I was gonna read the skill description, Kung Fu, so that we could figure that out. So reduces monster's difficulty to hit by strength and agility divided by 1.5. So it's 75% of your strength and agility together for 2 rounds. So it's reducing the monster's difficulty hit. So it's like making you hit the monster more often for 2 rounds, and reduces monster's dodge by wisdom ×2 for 3 rounds as a percentage.
This is a very strong debuff for 5 points. I think it's excellent. I think debuffing is great against bosses. I think it's a lot less good at clearing the trash mobs. Overall, I think it's an A.
You think this is okay? There you go. So this is something that's good for bosses.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
it makes them easier to hit.
To make consistent damage with, I don't think the Ranger has another skill that helps him with hitting. He may have a lot of.
Do you think this is better than Improvised Trap? Not sure.
It's tough to compare them because you get Improvised Trap at level 4 and you get this at level 15.
That's true.
So overall, I think that Improvised Trap will help you.
This is a big boss type hitter.
Yeah, I think this is very good for the last couple boss fights.
Okay, we'll just put it in A because it's kind of wandering around A somewhere depending because it's a very late game skill. We want JB on a stream to FUD him. Hold on. I'm screenshotting.
Oh my
this
god! If you have 40, yes, if you have 40 wisdom, it's like reduces dodge with 80%.
I'm putting this in the Discord right now. Go look at the Discord.
I think this is S tier, probably.
If you can get that much wisdom.
Oh, you think this is S tier?
I'm going wisdom with one of my Rangers.
I mean, you could build around it. I think that's a powerful effect, and it lasts for 3 rounds. But
should that be at the top of A tier, like head of Sly Evasion? Even we're talking about adhesive application, right?
I don't think so, but you could build around it to make it a very strong.
Okay, we're gonna put it
boss killer.
We're gonna put it around there, Berserk. I don't know.
That makes sense to me.
Don't debuff me, please. I didn't mean it. JB is the best. I'm taking the target off of me and putting it on Doc, who won season 1, who basically the target's been on him anyways, because anything he did, they just basically said we're gonna put in the trash. Doc is trash, is what they said. Okay, so yeah, that's good. We put that there. I think that's good. And now we're gonna go into the good old poisons, because the Rangers.
I
Or is this
think
Mage? Yes, Ranger.
it's not correct the description here, because
custom
you
poisons,
need
right?
to learn. Is it right?
No, it's not right. I can read it.
Is this the one from last year?
Yeah,
It's
that's
from
the
last year. So only if you learn the skill and you look at it in the Adventuring Guild, you can see the new effects.
So I have it. No, I'll read it to you.
Oh,
so this because I have this on my Ranger learned.
Okay.
So it's 7 points to use. So 2 more points. It deals 2d6 plus agility divided by 7. So the front end scales with agility. And then for an additional 2 rounds, it deals 2d4 plus agility divided by 10. So it scales with agility both times. And you get 2d6, then 2 2d4s. And everything scales with agility. I think, other than the mage skills, which are kind of on a different level, I think this is the best direct damage between the ranger and the warrior. And I think it's quite good. I think it's A or low S in the sense that you can do a very good run with a ranger with this type of damage output.
Did you calculate the maximum damage for 50 agility, for example?
So 50 agility would be, let's see, 50 divided by 7 is 49 is, shit.
7. Let's say 7.
Okay, so that's 7. So that's 2D. That's 14 up front, and then 5 plus 5. 14 plus 10 plus 10 is 34.
Wow. Yeah, I think it does definitely more damage than.
I think it's the most damage in the game, unless we're talking a huge charisma mage, and it lasts over 3 rounds. It's very strong. It costs 7 points though.
3 rounds or 2?
Is it 3 rounds?
Two additional rounds. First, you get the D6 plus agility divided by 7. Then you get 2 rounds of 2d4.
Okay,
plus
so direct damage plus 2 rounds of damage over time.
More, yes, exactly.
So is this high 8? Is this an S tier?
I mean, if you're going to go the direct damage route, and you can only do this every 3 rounds as opposed to Insidious of spamming, I think this and some of the mage skills are your best shot by a lot.
So is it high A tier, like better than Sly Evasion?
It kind of depends on how good the damage route is. If
Right.
damage is good, this is going to be an S, and this is going to be a great thing for Rangers, but I'm not convinced that's the best strategy.
The final boss fight will not end in 9 rounds. It will be probably more than that.
Yes,
and
you could get
for
3 of
9
them.
rounds, you may get like 100 damage, which is the most.
It's very good. So it could be S.
It could be S tier. Should we put it there though? Like, what do you feel like right now? Just your instinct says.
I'm feeling that I have listed this skill and I need to delist it.
Yeah, it's I don't know how many people know exactly what it does because it's not posted on the sheet.
Yeah, it's not posted.
I might consider delisting that if I were you. But like I said, with 50 agility, it's 34 damage over 3 rounds.
I'm doing that in the moment.
Cool. So I think it's S. I think
it's yes. I think it's S. Definitely.
It is all agility. It doesn't ask anything of you. It's any ranger can do this.
So any ranger can do it.
It's all agility.
So
which is huge.
Maybe it should be, huh? Interesting. I mean, which one is yours? Is this yours right here? I know Kung Fu. Should I buy this right now?
Oh, this is awkward.
Ooh, should I buy this right now? Look at $42. I don't have $42 on my account to buy it. That's weird. I did. Oh, it's because I moved it around to stuff. That's really, really funny. I mean, that is the reason that we're here right now, so I can buy everything before other people do. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well,
I mean, unless they're here watching.
I managed to delist it.
You just delisted it. Oh yeah, I sometimes I confuse myself because I think I can buy stuff on market with USDC, but it's ETH and I have to switch it over. So he just delisted it, and let's look at this. Oh yeah, there it's gone. It's gone. No more custom poisons. But still, it was like $42. It's not cheap. You know what I mean? Like that's a pretty good price for an A-list, S-list skill, right?
I just sent you the picture of it, Doug, in your Discord if you want to.
Oh yeah, I'll add that. Thank you.
Could you send it in the Discord in
Oh,
the
yeah,
alpha discussion for
I
between
have
us?
posted it before. It just didn't make it over, but I will do that.
I'm gonna add this to this tier list and normal view, and
I
I'm
posted
gonna
it
go
there
back
too.
and how do I edit this? Save or download.
Let's step away for just a minute.
So I'm gonna add this to
okay, and cool. The snipe, we don't have the updated version.
Yeah, snipe submit. Okay, so now we're back to presentation mode, and I added that in. Oh wait, that's not. My bad. I gotta go back. That did something weird. I need to take this one out. There's one in there now that I don't want. Will it not let me take it out? Interesting. Oh, well, there'll just be that fun image in there now that we're making fun of JB for nerfing all of our fun. Okay, so presentation mode. So now we have poison, the actual poison. And it's at the head of A tier. It could be an S tier. Kung Fu, I feel like it's okay to put it. Where do you think? You think it should be S tier? You own it now. You want it to be S tier.
It does a lot of damage for 5 points, and the fireball, which is comparable, needs 7 points. So I think you can easily have like 3 or 4 uses of custom poisons in the end battle.
Right.
Probably a few other skills like sly evasion or whatever you decide to learn, to have some defense to last until the poison ticks and does its thing to
it says Doc says all mage skills, and this should be S tier.
Yep, I'm back. I had to feed the dogs. I like it at S. But
all right, we're putting in S tier now. This is the only thing you guys have to realize I'm putting S tier, and this is the only reason I'm putting it in there is because I was gonna buy it from Kung Fu, but I didn't. I just waited and I let him delist it, okay, so that he can have an S tier, skill.
That's the only S tier we have for Rangers. So
I sat there and just stared at it for like 5 minutes while he was talking about it, and was like, I'm gonna buy this, and then I was like, no, I'm not.
So this skill I bought for $24 off OpenSea and thought I did
awesome.
It
was really cheap
in last season, but then it was bugged. So hopefully it's not bugged, by the way.
Yeah,
that would suck
nice.
because you only got you only got half of your damage over time effect last season, and that actually really cost me on my Ranger because I was very close to being able to kill the boss, but I had to run instead because I wasn't getting all my damage from improvised trap and custom poison. So I'm not bitter about it or anything, but
all right, we're gonna move on now. I think we're on to the mages stuff now.
Let's
we're on to Firebolt. So let's bring up little old Firebolt, and we're gonna keep her moving now. Okay, we're gonna go a little bit faster. We're on the mages.
Old Firebolt.
This one right here. So we got deals 1 dice for 4, and then add on wisdom divided by 7 damage. And then deals an additional 1 plus charisma divided by 8 damage per round for 3 rounds. So it does. Wait, so you do that initial damage, but it also does the secondary damage for 3 rounds. So you get 4 total hits out of this.
Mm-hmm. I think little old Firebolt is amazing. Probably S tier, maybe A.
Wow.
It is incredible.
And that's what he said. Like Doc says, all the mages are like S tier.
Yeah, so this damage is just out of control. The charisma, it doesn't roll a dice. It's just, but But in the end game, you can get your charisma up to like 40 or so. That's 6 damage over 3 rounds. That's 18 damage on top of your scaling wisdom damage per 5 points. I think this is actually like kind of right there with custom poisons, which we were just as the best other damage, and it's the basic skill for a mage. It's completely busted.
Very cool.
It's great.
I mean, we don't need to talk about it a lot, I guess, because everyone has it, and
yeah, it's great.
You'd use it.
But yeah, I think this is a really good reason to put charisma on your mages, and there are other reasons to do so as well. And I just think it's great.
So that's another takeaway. Charisma might be good.
It scales really well with the way it damages.
That's really good. Okay, so let's look real quick. Thanks, Doc, for being around and everyone that's here and continuing to watch. All the people that left, they're dead to me and they're never going to be good at this game. So here's Ray of Frost, and it deals 1d4 and wisdom divided by 8 and damage, and lowers monsters DTH by agility % for 2 rounds. So this is an agility thing, and that's the chance that the monster is hit is lowered.
If you don't go agility, it is trash.
Yeah,
if you go with agility, it may be viable.
This is like D tier.
This one got a pretty big downgrade.
Yes, it was like
I used to use it.
It was so good.
Yeah, I used to.
Now you need 30 agility on the mage too.
Yeah, I really don't think you want to be putting any agility on your mage. I think this was a solid A last season, and it's all the way down to C or D. And the only reason you would ever load this is because you have like an odd amount of skill points, and you can't load a firebolt.
Right.
Not odd, but you know.
So just to be cute, basically.
I mean, just because it's better than not loading anything.
Right.
Otherwise, you want firebolt.
Just to be cute means there's a situation that's very, very odd, but it's somehow you just.
So I think D, because it's relative. Like I mean,
I would say C.
Maybe C.
It's useful, as you said. You can, if you don't have enough points to put for firebolt, you may have one.
Right, fine. It can be low and C. Maybe we'll change it to D later.
You can make it work with some.
I'm fine with C. I think this is pretty comparable to grapple, to be honest. You're very rarely going to use it.
It used to be fine.
It used to be quite good. I think it was very good last season, but
it was. I used it a lot.
We're on to a new season because it didn't ask anything of you to get the debuff last season or the way to hit them, and now it asks you a lot, and it's not something you want to do.
Okay, so now we're on mental knit, and it's healing.
We did this one.
Oh, we did already. That's right.
Yeah, we did it.
It's already in there. Like, why am I even? We're on Magic Missile. What am I talking about?
Yes, Magic Missile.
That was my first mistake of the whole day. Okay, like let's just mark that down. Is if Jabo's over there, write that down. Okay, put that into the game. I made a mistake. All right, let's go on to. Oh, there it is. I fixed it on the other side. Okay, Magic Missile. It deals 1d8 and then Wisdom divided by 6, and Wisdom is your main stat. So this is pretty decent, huh? But it's 6 skill points.
Magic Missile was really bad last season, and it somehow got worse.
It got worse.
It's embarrassingly bad.
D tier. Bye. Okay, we're not even talking about it anymore. Bye, Magic Missile. Goodbye. We're going on.
The issue with Magic Missile is it's strictly worse than Firebolt, and you always have Firebolt.
You always have
it costs 1 more skill point as well.
But so that's all you need to know is that there's not really any reason to use it. Okay, so now we got Force Shield. Okay, this is actually hard to read. I have to like zoom in.
This one is ridiculous.
It increases hero armor mitigation by 30% plus strength and charisma, which are not your main stats. And then divided by 2.
You have flat percent, 30%.
Well,
the strength and charisma.
Kung Fu, I'm kicking you off the show. So increases hero armor mitigation amount by 30% plus strength and charisma combined divided by 2, so half of strength and charisma, plus 1 for 3 rounds, and increases hero armor mitigation chance by agility and wisdom, which is a main strength. So, okay, sorry, go ahead, Kung Fu. So you like the second part of it better.
Oh, definitely second part. For the late game, the first part will also be good, but the second part scales with the main stat. And also you can have charisma builds. I like it, and I plan to have a mage with agility.
You want to have an
Agility
agility
or
mage.
strength?
Yeah, with agility.
Agility. So
He's
you're
gonna
going
try
to
a lot. He's
combine
gonna-
this with Ray of Frost?
With Ray of Frost, yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I'm a little
Oh.
interested in a mage with strength to combine this with another skill that uses that.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think Force Shield was kind of sneaky good last season, and I think it's better. I like it, but I don't think it's A tier. I
It's
think
high B tier.
I think B.
I think it's B, yeah.
What do you guys think in the audience? Because you wait, that's a different one. See, because you start for 4 points. No, that's a different one. Dakota, we need Doc. We need a vote for this, but we're putting it in C tier now. Was it high C tier? Or B tier? Sorry.
I'd be. I think it's kind of just middle of the pack. I think it's good. I don't think this is gonna like define your run, but
It's 4 points. We can
it's
agree
4
that
points,
this
which
is
is
low.
nice. Yep.
You don't have that much mitigation amount and proc chance at the beginning because
Yeah,
this is
you
not applicative. But in the late game, it will help, and in the late game, it will be much more potent.
Great. So
Yeah, I think we're in agreement.
So that one's pretty good. And Force Shield, there's a bunch near the floor there too.
Yeah,
so
it's basic. I mean, that's kind of the best thing you can do with your items, right? Is get mitigation chance and mitigation amount. So it's doing that for a significant amount of time for not that much. So it's not bad for sure.
Yeah. So when I look at this, let me look at it a little bit closer here because where's my preview?
The formula is crazy, by the way.
The big long formula, yeah.
Yeah, the mid amount. First, it has a parentheses. Inside the parentheses is a division sign.
It does.
And then it has that's plus for, for 30, and that's all percentage. And then you get +1 flat on top of that. So the mid amount, say you have from your armor and such, mid amount of 10. And then late in the game, you have.
They forgot the second like thingy mabobber on that, but whatever.
No,
oh,
it's
wait,
crazy.
no, it's there.
It's crazy.
I see it. I
so
see
you,
it now.
say you have well, if it's late in the game, say you have 15, and then you have strength and charisma added to 30, maybe divide by 2 is 15, plus 30 is 45%. So you have 45% of your 15, which is 7. So then your 15 becomes 22, and then +1 flat is 23. So you basically gained 8 armor amounts with like a decent amount of strength and charisma. So it definitely matters if you can figure out the formula, which is crazy.
It's weird how like when you use stuff in
so
practice
complicated
in the game, certain things will just start to work really well. Like, you know, like when I use my warrior and I use blade form parry, now we know it's a S tier, but when I just used it, it just worked. It seemed to work really good. But other stuff I would do with the characters and it didn't seem to work that well. So we'll also see how well they work in combat. Maybe Force Shield will end up being something really great that's very useful.
Once you get the gear, I think it's very good, but it's very reliant on your gear being.
Is it
good.
better than Thunderous Bellow?
I don't think so.
So where I had it's good ahead of Herbal Knowledge. Okay. But where's the cutoff for stuff that you think it's really good to have? Is it like right around here, like Force Shield, where it's like that stuff you definitely want to go and try to get?
I bought a Force Shield when it was on the floor. I think they're good.
I was thinking about doing that.
I bought like 6 in a bulk deal.
Nice.
Absolutely's here from the Golden Baboons. What's up? Absolutely. The Golden Baboons are awesome in that project too, and I'm trying to get more of those guys to come play this game because it's so much fun. And people love numbers and stats. Okay, so we put that there. So now we only have a few left here. We got Drowse, guys, which is like, well, let me bring this up. Oops, sorry. Where is? There's Drowse. Okay, here's acting weird. I still need to fix my camera too. Okay, so Drowse reduces monster's dodge by wisdom and quickness. So if you're doing a quickness build for your mage, that's good. Is that quickness build good for a mage? Are people going to do that?
Yeah, it's good.
I think it's very good.
And
then, also strength can combine with the mage armor, and it can combine with what else did we see? Oh yeah, the mage armor. That's
so I think this one's pretty good. I mean, if I just look at it, I think I own a Drowse. Do I? I can't remember. And I think it's kind of A tier-ish, right?
It's a very good debuff. It lasts 3 rounds. It costs 4. I think it's A tier. I think it's mostly a boss specific one. I don't think you want to use this against trash mobs where you could load fire bolts instead. But yeah, I think it's A, and I think you really want it against bosses.
So this is a boss one. So A is gonna be up here with like adhesive and berserk and stuff because boss fights are when you really can definitely die, and so that's good to have. You definitely want to have something like that in your back pocket. And
yeah, I think this is pretty similar to adhesive, but not as good.
Not as good. I have it next to improvised trap here. Let me bring it up so you guys can see it with the old good thing here with the stream yard. So yeah, this is what I have for A tier: Sly, and then Berserk, Adhesive, Drowse, Trap, Rending Blow, and Second Wind. Do any of these look out of place in this A tier? Does Rending Blow need to be ahead of this?
I think Drowse might be towards the back.
You think it's back more this way?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Like there. It's better than Second Wind, but it's okay. All right. That probably makes sense, right? Quickness Mage, Quickness Warrior, Wisdom Ranger. There you go. There's some alpha right there. Doc, Wisdom Ranger. So let's move on to the next one, Doc. I'm not giving people alpha like that, Doc. Get out of here with that.
I guess I will need to consider the merits of a Wisdom Ranger. Otherwise, we are in agreement.
I'm deleting that, Doc. I'm not giving people that kind of alpha on his channel like this. We're not here trying to help anyone. All right. So I'm just going to jump back and forth between being really helpful and not helpful. Okay, guys, this is how I gaslight you. That's what I'm supposed to do. It's my job, right? Okay. So let's go back to haste. And I just pretend that I'm doing that. All right. So here we go. We can see haste and see the person running. That makes me real excited because haste means like, can I run away? And it kind of is like a mini flea, right? You can increase your actually increases your chance to hit.
I asked JB.
It makes you better at hitting. It's not a running away thing.
This is the only skill that I mentioned that they removed an effect. So they just kept the flat chance to hit, and you can easily reach one more than what we had before. It was 15 before. Now in the end game you can probably reach 20, 25.
So it increases your chance to hit, which is pretty good. That's pretty important, right?
So the reason it got the other part taken away is because obviously if you give yourself a ton of quickness and then scale off quickness, that's pretty busted. So
yeah,
I think that makes a lot of sense. I've kind of already spoiled this in tweets and messages on Discord. I think this is S tier. I think it's one of the best skills to start with in the game. It's good at all the hard fights. I want to cast at least one of these in every fight. And I want to build quickness and wisdom on my range as much as possible. I don't know what it does everything I want from a skill at level 7. And I don't know what else. I don't know what
I own this skill because it was so good last season, but they nerfed it, but still good.
They did see people said they nerfed it. I disagree.
No,
strongly.
it's better for the chance to hit part.
So yeah, the running part was always kind of a meme. It was a thing to consider. I don't think it was the reason that it was good last season. I think this is a net positive. Maybe not in a vacuum because all the skills got worse, but at 5 points, getting plus 20 to hit flat is insane.
And so I definitely am going to do a quickness build on one of my mages.
It lasts all combat.
I waited to like learn these skills from my mages from last season because I didn't know how to which mage I wanted to put them on, and so definitely I'm going to pick a mage and do a quickness one. I have 3 mages right now. I have 3 warriors and some other and like 1 ranger. I don't know what the other 2 are though. I haven't gotten them yet. So
it is weighted towards boss fights, which would be the argument for putting it at A with rending blow and improvised trap, in my opinion. Right. But I think it's just so much better than those 2. That I would put it at the top of A or the barely S.
Because I own it, let's put it up there.
And there are sexier buffs that you can do for sure, but they last for 3 rounds.
And this is till the end of combat.
This you cast first round of any hard fight, and it's going to help you so much.
That's the thing is I'm looking for stuff that stands out. Like I wait to use my skills. I don't use my skills a lot. I'm waiting until I really need them just in case I don't want to die or I have a hard fight, right?
So last year, Hasty Wish had a similar effect. I think Hasty Wish was probably the best skill in the game. So, but like being worse than that doesn't really make me not want haste. I want haste on every mage.
We don't know what the old whatever.
Yeah, we don't quite know what it does now, but
because we're almost at the end now for all you friends that have no patience. And it's funny because we have some people complain about time that we're at 3 hours. Have you seen a Grady stream? They go for like 7 hours, bro. Okay. Yeah.
This probably isn't the best mage skill because they're really busted, but I do think it's either top of A or bottom of S.
We'll put it bottom of S right now, but because mages have such good skills,
I think Kung Fu disagrees with me on this one, and
what do you
it's
think?
fine. I'm definitely willing. This is me kind of putting myself out here without ever casting it.
I think it was A, because you need quite a lot of stats to make it work.
I think people that are saying that this got nerfed are just not thinking about it correctly, personally. And I guess that's my thought. Is that I love people flooding it.
Entire combat, right?
And it's just an effect you can't get anywhere else. Like you can go with the gambler or the
that's true.
The Sphinx to try to get like 1% to
right. You get like that's what I was thinking about this too.
And I could just use 5 points using quickness, which I already wanted because I don't want to cast teleport for God's sake. And then I can get plus 20 to hit. Like, get out of here.
There are certain fights where all of a sudden you realize, like, I'm not able to hit this dude, and it's sometimes
so important,
sense, right? And you're just like, huh, like, why can't I hit this guy, especially a boss? And if you could just go be, anytime you have that spidey sense, being like, this dude doesn't want me to hit him, he's a pain. You can just turn on haste. And I was totally doing the gambler as much as possible, trying to bump up my chance to hits. But in the end, it's like it ended up being like 0, right?
Yeah, I think this is similar in effect to the other two, Rending Blow and Trap, because it lasts the whole thing. But I just think it's a tier above, personally.
I'm putting an S tier right now.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I'm putting S tier right now because I own it. That's the only. Just kidding. But my point is, I bought it in a couple days ago. Or like a week ago, because I really like this skill. I'm just saying that, like, I think it's S tier, and I put my money where my mouth is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I went and bought it. So
I don't think the loss of an ability to run away matters very much in the long run. You're already building. You're already building.
Yeah,
towards
if you're
to
already
make this good, so you can already run away. It doesn't. That part was cute. The real effect. Real effect is to hit it.
I like, and that's the thing, is that, like, maybe it's in between A and S tier, but we're going to put that there for now. And now we have to go to our next one, which is the old Ice Tomb, which this one I think is pretty nice too. Let's go and look at Ice Tomb. There it is. And let's zoom in on it a little bit. So you deal 3 dice for 4 plus 3 damage and lowers monster's armor mitigation chance by wisdom divided by 1.75. And so what's the percentage of that?
It's like 57%.
57%. Until the end of combat.
So about between
it's
55 and 60%.
Buffed Rending Blow.
Yeah, it's a Rending Blow with a buff that lasts all the
end. And it does the same amount of points. It's 6 points. Rending Blow, you get at level 4, and this you get at level 15. So it's not really fair to necessarily compare them like that, but it's very strong. I think this is a great way to win the game, beat the boss.
Yeah, so that's
exactly what you want to do. You only need to load game. Yeah, you only need or want to load 1 for the boss fight, because the damage part doesn't scale. Like your firebolts will just be much better for damage. But you cast this once for an end of combat, really important thing for their mitigation. It's awesome. You're going to have 60 plus wisdom, 57% of that is, 36 or whatever. So they're going to have at least a third to 40% less mitigation proc chance, which is great. It's super good.
Cirrus has actually a really good idea. You said instead of doing it all at once, you could do a tier list for each class. Which
too late, Cirrus.
Too late. But in the future, that would actually be great, because then sometimes people only want to watch a 20-minute video or something. So in the future, that'd be great. Cirrus, he's always very critical of everything I do, and then I go like, you know what, Cirrus, maybe we will do that. Maybe we will. So thanks for the feedback, buddy. Okay, so here we go, and now let's go to the final one. I put that.
You think S or A Kung Fu? I think S, but I think it's very good. I think it's similar to Haste.
I put it
agree.
up in S.
I agree.
Yep, there we
So
go.
that would be yes.
There right now. I even put Haste ahead of it because I own it. Okay, just
Nice.
kidding. I like both of these a lot. I like Ice Tomb in like the visuals of it. You're putting them in Ice Tomb. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. I'm glad they have some cool mage stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Similar to the custom poisons, Ice Tomb doesn't ask anything of you. It all scales off wisdom, which you were going to maximize anyways. It's going to be awesome on any build. It's just good.
Yep. Very nice. Now, let's go into the old fireball here. Oops. There it is. And let's zoom in a little bit. It deals 2 dice for 4, plus wisdom divided by 7, which is your main stat damage, and deals an additional 1d4 charisma divided by 9 per round for 4 rounds.
Yeah, this is quite similar to custom poisons. The only issue with this is that it lasts so long that you can only really load 2 of them. But where you could probably load 3 custom poisons for like the final boss.
So is this more like
almost then? Like 3 custom poisons?
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. I mean, I think you would combine this with firebolt and kill bosses and just nuke them. I think it's great.
So this is more like A tier though, because
I think so.
It's charisma, which you might not even be upping, and then it's 7 points, and it's late game.
It's not that much better than firebolt. The thing is, you stack them. That's what you want to do.
So you can use both.
Yeah, and you can always have access to both. That might make it S tier, to be honest. Like, I think you really affect your chance to win the game by getting this skill. It's not super sexy just to use this like 2 times with a boss, but I think it's very effective. I think those are going to be some of the good.
Like. How does that feel to you? Does it feel good to have Ice 2 and Fireball both there in the S tier?
I think so.
What do you think, Kung Fu? What do you think, audience in the chats? What do you think, Cirrus, with all of your opinions? Why don't you give a grade? Why don't you give a grade, all right?
But yeah, mage skills are crazy still.
Kung Fu is
that wasn't clear.
He refuses to give a grade to Fireball. It's too controversial for him.
He's a conscientious objector.
A conscientious objector. What is he doing now? He's revolting. Okay.
I think it's A or S. I think.
But Doc did say all the mages are S tier, which is kind of a joke, I think. But like he means that they kind of could be.
It's about the same damage output as poisons. It just takes 1 more turn, like I said. Otherwise.
So then it probably is a lower S tier, I guess.
Yeah.
This is a nice little graph here. Like, see how it starts smaller and it goes bigger and then smaller.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty cool. It looks good. What do you guys think in the audience there? Anyone that's still awake there? We've only been on this for 3 hours. This is just a warm up for Grady. He's not. If he was here, he'd be like, "Yeah, let's go 8 more hours, baby. Let's go."
Kung Fu might have passed out. I'm pretty sure it's like in the middle of the night in Bulgaria.
It is. He's probably going to sleep and passing out.
I'm happy with this.
Yeah.
I think we did a good job.
So
we'll see.
This is a pretty good job. I think I like the list because, like, at the end of the day, you feel good because you allowed everyone to voice their opinion. And there's a lot of like gray area ones where you just kind of got to pick one or the other. You don't know exactly which is better. But this is the thing, when you look at the whole chart and everything you're looking at, when you're thinking about your things, I want to talk about mages first because the skills affect the mages a lot. It seems like, with them being up there. Do you think it makes people want to get mages because of this? Because I know a lot of people I did see talking excitedly about the mages. That's the main thing they're looking at.
I mean, for like the power gamers, for the guys that are going to get skills or buy skills, I think the mage might be the best for this season. I think if you're just starting out,
mage equals power gamer. Yeah.
I think the warrior still has, really good items. It's going to have the most defense. It's going to have the most hit points. I think the ranger is kind of the hardest to build. It's kind of the trickiest to build because it kind of does a lot of different stuff. The wisdom build seems very interesting.
Ooh, maybe we should do a contest for who makes the coolest ranger build. Is who can figure it out, because it's just like a good mystery, right?
Oh, cool.
Watch Discord and
Thirst for Blood.
Too. What's he talking about?
Probably alpha discussion. No, I don't see it.
Let's see. I haven't been watching Discord because this is so intense. I don't care about wisdom, last zone, 60 strength. 10 damage. So you're gonna.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Doc is talking about this stuff, I think.
Oh. I rather like that Thirst for Blood.
Thirst for Blood for end boss.
It's much stronger than last season.
So we don't have that one, right?
Right. Do you see it in the Discord?
Did they post it? No, hold on.
Yeah. Doc did in general a couple of things up.
Did he post a picture of it?
Yes.
Where is it?
708 general chat. 2d6 plus strength divided by 6.
Oh, there it is. Why didn't I see this before?
Which is quite nice. That's basically Insidious distraction damage from last season, but a little bit worse. Although it might be better because it's your main stat, so it's actually very good. You do like 20 damage with that. But the problem still remains with Thirst for Blood is that it's going to help you be efficient in the later zones, which is good, like Peaks and Dark Tower. But it's not good against bosses, obviously.
Why didn't he just DM this to me, this silly guy? Okay, so there it is. We can see it now. So it deals 2d6, and this is for what? For Ranger or Warrior?
Warrior, yeah.
Okay, Warrior. Right. Deals 2 dice for 6, strength divided by 6. If a monster is killed with this attack, that's the one where you heal, right?
Yeah, but you do a lot more damage, and you potentially heal more. I think this is really good for getting to the last fight, which is important. But
like at the end of zone 5, you're saying?
Yeah, I think this is high B or A.
All right, I have to edit this list, and we're gonna go to normal view, and we're gonna go to edit, and I'm gonna add this in here so we can choose a file. And
but I guess if you manage to make second wind good with your wisdom build on a warrior, this could definitely be an A tier. But it's just like level 15, level 16, level 17, just killing trash mobs is all this does. But there is value to doing that well.
It didn't load. 1 second. I gotta load it. Oh wait, I made my bad. I made the temp. That in there. All right, now I fixed it. My bad. I made an error on that one. So let me share. Oops. I'm going to share this screen. Where's my presentation mode? Oops, there it is. All right, here we go. So I'm going to zoom in to the tier list. Where'd my presentation mode go? There it is. And Thirst for Blood there. So you think this is like between B and A?
Yeah, I think it just has a small window of usefulness, but I think it matters. I would say A. I think it matters.
Really? All right, so I'm going to put it on A tier up
there. This is going to get you through the peaks and the Dark Tower efficiently. And I think that matters.
It's very good for monster encounters, is what Doc says.
Yeah, it's not a boss fight thing, which is the problem. But it's good.
Did he just do this right now, Doc? Did you just identify this right now?
Yeah, I think so.
Very good.
So we're just missing Hasty Wish and Sniper, unfortunately. But
so Citron says, I think Wisdom is a real build for Warrior because you can scale Blade Form Parry.
There's quite a few. Blade Form Parry is the S tier, along with this and not Sly Evasion. What else went with Blade Form Parry? Oh, the Trap, I think.
Wait, Wisdom? No, Blade Form Parry is Strength and Quickness.
Hang on.
Let's see.
Blade Form Parry. Oh, Thunderous Blow. Thunderous Bellow. That's the one with Wisdom.
Yeah.
It's Second Wind. Second Wind, Thunderous Bellow.
I'm wondering what Citron is talking about. I wish he would come on the show.
Yeah, not Blade Form, but anyways.
Yeah. So which is the one with Wisdom? Sorry, was trying to figure out.
Thunderous Bellow.
Right, there it is. Wisdom.
That debuffs their parry and dodge. It's actually quite a strong debuff if you can have Wisdom with it.
Someone saying Second Wind is really good. You're healing for 20 to 30 in zone 4+.
Second Wind, I was convinced after hearing Kung Fu's spiel to put it in A. I feel good about that.
Right.
I think that's the best heal.
I had a spiel too. My spiel was the best one. All right, everyone. My spiel, I did like a 10-minute spiel. Okay. Wait, he says he thinks, I think Season 3, that's why I got 3 to sell. I think it's an A. Is he talking about blood? Thirst for blood? Look at overhand chop at B and tell me that is an A class.
I'll tell you that. I had it at C. I got overruled. So there. Cyrus.
Yeah, Cyrus, like you're like wait. So yeah, I know. Yeah, I did it now. I don't know what he's talking about. It's A class. Doc, are you if you guys could explain what you're actually saying in the chat, that'd be real helpful, because sometimes it's just like a little bit hard to understand. All right. I'm looking in this.
All right, Bubba. I gotta go make dinner.
Okay, so thanks for coming on, Bob. I really appreciate it. We made a tier list. We'll make another one and stuff. It'll be a lot of fun. You have a good time with your dinner. I'm going to stay here just for a minute and talk about this stuff. Okay, buddy? I'll talk to you soon.
If I'm proven wrong, make fun of me in Discord. It's fine. This is all super speculative.
Yeah, this is what this
Having
is all
not
about.
cast the spells, this is what I think based on what I know now. I might change my mind in 2 weeks. Who cares? Have fun.
Okay, thanks so much, Bob. Thanks, buddy. Okay, so it's not a problem. It's not a boss skill because you use 6 skills on boss. So you have 3 skills for boss, 3 skills for monsters. Right. Once again, Dakok, I don't understand anything what you're saying. Okay, here's the options. You can come on the show into the stream and explain anything you're talking about, guys. Or you can also like use English to explain in the chat. Like the English, modern English language. Like if you went into like a modern English language dictionary, use that. What we're looking at right now is this big old tier list where Blade Form Parry is really, really high on it. I own that, which is really dope. Custom Poisons is really high. Firebolt is super exciting because that's like really easy because you got that one. Haste, Ice Tomb, and Fireball. So it looks like we got a lot of mage stuff up here. It's like 4 mage things is up here, 1 warrior, 1 ranger, and then in the A tier, there's a lot of warrior stuff right here. We do have Sly Evasion, which I believe is the ranger. And then you got warrior stuff here. Adhesive Application. Is that ranger too? Ranger, warrior, mage, warrior. And then warrior down here, ranger, and mage. So yeah, this is the tier list. A lot of stuff moved down. A lot of stuff got dropped down. The flea skills are way at the bottom, even though I own them and bought a bunch of them. Thanks, J-Bo. It identified it. Now that's what I mean. Oh yeah. So thank you. We put it in here. We got Thirst for Blood, and we put it right there. So it's in the list. You identified it. I copied it from the Discord. Thanks. You can always like DM me and send me stuff too if there's something like that you want to put on there. So there's a tier list. It's we did it. Those are all the skills you should get. Right now, you should go out and buy these on the open seas if you can afford it, or you have extra money. Like, don't spend like your money for rent, but like if you can go buy them and it helps you win the game, it's great. Because the thing is that they're going to go on your guy and be there for the long haul. It stays on them through all the seasons. You know what I mean? And there will be adjustments, but like you saw, a lot of them, like Blade Form Parry, were good last time and they're still good this time. And almost all the ones I have, I can still use really well. And yeah, that's really, really good stuff. And I think the next season, in season 3, they might make the fleas a little bit better because they nerfed them pretty hard. So those will still be good to have. I know I'm going to use fleas at some point because people are dying in the streets like crazy. You know what I'm saying? They're dying left and right. Booty chatter again. Cyrus, let me explain this to you. There's this thing called talking and conversation that you have where like we build relationships, we learn about the game, and we talk about the concept of what you want to do with the information that you have, right? There's the technical things of like, does this. Then it's like, when are you actually going to use it? Should you buy it? Should you make this decision? Like top end decisions, like 30,000 like elevation foot decisions, right? And most people in gaming don't think about that. They just kind of do stuff. That's why we have these streams to help us have an understanding of meta and all this stuff. We bring in the people, and then I try to like have an overarching view of everything, right? So, and we try to support each other and be really positive and good about it, and like be like, yes, let's go. Let's have a competitive thing and have fun. So it looks like everybody is having a nice nap now in the afternoon. I really appreciate everyone coming into the tier list, right? So the flea skills are down here. Magic Missile, don't even buy that, okay? Just don't get it, I guess. Repost, whatever. But all these things can be helpful and depending on the builds that you have. So I'm really interested to see the different builds that people are doing. Do you want to put like, quickness into a bunch of your stuff? It looks like Wisdom is going to be really good for things like, let's go back and look at this, what Doc said. He said that Wisdom was going to be good for the Ranger, right? So let me know what you're going to think and what you're up to. We're going to I think it makes sense since mages are more skill-based. I don't know. Okay. Thanks, Sirius. Thanks for calling my talking booty and then you talking in like German in the chat. Thanks so much. So we're going to now leave and we'll come back to this later. This is the tier list. You can look at it. You could download it. I'll put a link actually right here for the tier list so you guys can actually download an image, whatever. I know that you can probably go on a link or like send a link to people. I don't know. Let me put this in the chat and see. This is the link to the tier list. You might be able to just look at it yourself. And I'll definitely put links to this wherever in the description down below for the actual thing on the YouTube and stuff. So thanks, guys. Be a man, don't flee and stand. Actually, yeah. Don't be a man, don't flee and stand. That's rhymes. That's fun. Okay, so good time. So you guys, that was a lot of fun. And that is the tier list. And so like the generalizations of what we want to think about of what you want to do in the game is look for these guys here that you might want. You know what I mean? Look for Berserk. That was really on the floor. And I bought one off the floor a couple days ago, right? These things up here you're going to want to buy. People are going to want them. And what's going to happen is you're going to see people do builds and certain variations of their characters and have certain skills that work well. And then those skills are going to be really wanted. Okay, so you want to get these now before it's super, super obvious of what people are going to want. You know what I mean? And then they're going to be scarce and people are going to want them. You can trade them, sell them, whatever you want. Good times, fun times. Okay, I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for hanging out. We did streaming like 3 days in a row. Maybe we'll do one tomorrow talking about something and go maybe more in depth for like one of the classes or something. That would be a lot of fun, right? So thanks, you guys. Thanks for the great stream. Thanks, Doc. Maybe we'll bring you on and talk about your specific skills or do like just one build you might do or something like that. That would be a lot of fun. Okay, guys? Hope you have a great day. Dragon's Crossing is awesome. I'm going to put a link to the Discord right here. If you've watched this and you want to check out the game and you haven't played it yet, I'll put that link right there. It's in the description right here. No problems. Come check it out. There's a lot of people very helpful in the Discord. It's actually a lot of fun and really, really great. I really enjoy there. I'm literally ranked 2 in the Discord, and I'm in there all the time. The founders are in there all the time. It's awesome. It's great. All right, guys, let's go. It was a fun, long-ass freaking stream, and we did it, baby. Let's go. Introducing Dragon's Crossing, an addictive Web3 game modeled after Dungeons & Dragons. With just 15 moves a day, you must find the right balance to navigate each zone and climb the leaderboard. In the meantime, you can also find NFTs that will bolster your chance to win or can be traded to other players.
Lots to do. You understand.
Season 1 gave out a whopping $13,000 in prizes, and we only expect it to grow from here. Make sure you're ready for Season 2 by picking up an NFT hero through our limited time mint or via the secondary market on OpenSea. Will you be our Season 2 champion? Check out our website, dragonscrossing.com, for more information. Let's go! Guys, that was fun, wasn't it? See you guys later. Have a good day and night, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.